Butterfingers, indeed.
Oh my gosh, I was actually like laughing when I saw him crying. Like, I was like,
No, that's deep, man. How can you laugh?
no,
How can she slap?
like
Someone sent me the funniest picture.
this guy should just disappear.
Yeah, the lights got to him.
No, because he was doing bowing himself for time. And then when he went to the Liverpool fans, that's when he started crying. He started doing all this. I'm like, shut up.
You say that because you're an Arsenal fan, innit? What's when your next Arsenal keeper does it to you, you'll be screwing. You'll be laughing then.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll be like Koscielny versus Birmingham. That was annoying.
Okay.
Koscielny calls you hard.
Koscielny. This is why I argue about Ramos. Like, I'd rather Ramos than Koscielny just being pushed around.
Any day.
Even if Ramos is gonna foul up a nigga and injure them, I'm calm with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
They actually played this at Shoosh the other day, man. It was so jokes. Yeah.
Kobe, turn up your voice a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Listen, this instrumental is levels of magic.
What is this song?
Lift yourself.
Oh, okay.
It's just levels of magic. The production, levels of magic.
Who's on it?
You've never heard this?
No, I've never heard it.
Hey, Kofi, just before we start here, run this track from the beginning and turn up the volume just for Oliver, so we can have the full experience.
Yeah.
Don't tell him what happens.
Volume up.
Turn up the volume, go on my laptop and just, louder. Run it louder.
That's good.
Just feel it. Hey. I can see that. I can see the smile over your feeling. Hey. I'm telling you, I heard the song for the first time. I'm walking on the road. Where am I? I'm in Dagenham. I'm in Dagenham. I'm going to Goals.
Yeah.
I was thinking. The whole time I'm thinking, bro, no buzz. No, is that what we're doing here? Is this a new level?
Yeah.
Like, have we reached a new level of music where we don't even need bars no more?
Yeah. Hey.
That's what I'm saying. Just enjoy the sonic experience. Enjoy my life. Blue skies. Hey. It's like, what is it, like 2 minutes? 2 minutes of just 2:30 of pure magic.
Imagine Anderson .Paak on this.
That's what I'm saying.
Is it Paak or Park?
I thought it was Paak. And then this happens. Hey, Kofi, hit record on the thing. Just hit record. Turn up though, turn up.
Oh, you flopped it, man.
How does he know every lyric?
We're singing it in Shoes the other day, like with Larry. Like we were just there.
Yeah.
Everyone was watching us. Like we were just like these bars, this next verse, and people were looking like, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with these guys?
I stopped in the middle of the road. And I think, what the fuck is this? What the fuck?
When I first heard it, I was like, huh? I was so confused. Like I was like, because I was really expecting bars. I was like, this is gonna be fine. When he's like these bars, I was like, oh my god,
thinking, hey, it's
like,
coming. Alright, let's start this podcast then. Let's go. Ah, yeah, come. Run it. We ready. Yo, this is the Unplugged Podcast. That's Unplugged with 3Gs. I'm your host, Kofi. You'll find me at Twitter on KTheFixer and on Instagram on SBK Worldwide. And don't forget, you can find us on the Unplugged Podcast on YouTube at Studio House and also on Twitter at Unplugged Podcast with 3Gs. Today, we've got 4 guests with us. We've got Chills, all-time regular. We've also got Oliver, the new recruit.
Yep.
Your homeboy, Izu.
Yeah, back as
We've
always.
got new recruit, Zach.
What up?
How you lot doing today?
Hey man, it's good.
I'm good.
I mean,
All
Chill's
good.
late as usual, but I mean, we here.
No, man, we here. We're still good. Still a little bit earlier than normal, but you know, still in fashion.
I can't lie to you, it's early in the morning to be doing this.
My eyes were red.
Lift yourself is what we need today, boy.
I lift it.
That's what I needed this morning to wake up. You know what I'm saying?
Whoopity scoop.
Is that what you're on? Yeah. Whoopie scoop.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're on? Yeah. Okay. Feeling the vibes in that. All right. So, boys, yeah. As you know, the new week came along. I just want to chat about the Champions League final and what your lot's verdicts were. I remember last week, Izzy and Alex were chatting about who we thought was going to win, and you lot came through.
Yeah, what was it? I had a
Your
4-2
bet,
prediction.
your bet was right. You said 3-1.
Yeah, you
No,
said
I
no.
said-
You
I
said
said
4.
4-2
He
to-
said
to
4-2 or
Madrid.
yeah, he said 4-2. I went for 3-2.
Yeah, Alex went 3-2.
So
Yeah.
we're both close.
And
We're
I went,
both,
I
yeah.
went 3-1, but I went 3-1.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
I'll be ambitious with that one, innit?
Listen, they took off my guy Salah, right? So
Hey, no.
No,
They
let's
didn't
discuss this.
They didn't take off my guy Salah.
he got hurt.
They bullied. They abused.
No, this is
think they
nonsense.
abused
They abused.
I'm not gonna
listen, me and Chill's been going at this for like what was
This
it?
is
For like a
nonsense.
good hour.
All
I'm
right,
on it.
all right, like you play like a semi-pro. You play semi-pro level.
I played pro level.
Yeah,
Youth
exactly.
international. I've been there.
Yeah, all right,
Let's
cool.
go, let's do
I
this.
know I'm coming from a place of playing Sunday League, like centre back while I'm 14, 15, right back, you know, across the defence. So we're both playing defensive positions. We both know what it is to be a defender. But like, in my opinion, really, what you want in the defender, you want someone who's going to be physical and impose their like sort of presence on the defender, intimidate them. Like when you look at someone like Costa, what does he do? He gets inside someone's head by psyching them out with his physicality. Always works. So I don't see too
Has
much.
Costa injured someone yet?
Costa's done
Has
some messed up things.
Costa put someone out of a World Cup?
He hasn't.
Has
that's
Costa
unf-
taken
look,
someone off
you
in
put
the
it this
Champions League
way,
final?
That's unfortunate because
So
of the
you
time
actually
period.
think he meant it?
No, of course he didn't mean
No,
it.
because
didn't
if
mean
you
it.
look at
Of
the
course he didn't mean it, but that's
incident,
not the point.
Salah puts
But
his
that's not
hand
the point, that's not the
inside
point.
like Ramos's,
And
like,
then he lets go. That is the huge difference here. That's
but if
this is what I'm saying, because Zach's impartial
Yeah.
in his tenure. So you saw what happened, right?
Yeah, that's what happened.
So obviously now the ball comes across. Yeah, Salah has possession. He sees Sergio Ramos coming.
Yeah.
As a footballer, you put your arm out to defend yourself. Like, I'm gonna hold him off,
Yeah.
try to keep this ball, right? Alright, the ball bounced away a little bit and that. They collided into each other. They go down. Ramos decides, nah, you know, I'm kind of liking this though. I'm gonna hold on to my man. You know, like he might, you know what I'm saying? He's
All the way down.
the whole from top to bottom. they hit the floor. Ramos still has hold of his arm. He rolls over now and dislocates his shoulder.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
He's now.
I mean, it does affect
mean,
like,
like-
how he landed because he got,
Yeah, but-
obviously you're gonna use the other hand.
but
But
it's like-
do you see? Is Ramos gonna know that he's gonna
Nah, here's
tumble
my-
over
Apparently
like
people were
that?
comparing it to judo moves. Like,
Yeah,
no, they were saying,
that's
this
a
is a
bit
judo
mad.
move.
Man doing jiu-jitsu.
That's what they were saying.
But here's the point, yeah. Like I was making to Alex, because we like I was on the train, but I was on Sunday afternoon on the way back from Southwest. I was leaving the East Brain, man. So I had time on the tube. Yeah. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking like, yo, this is a foul, regardless of
Yeah.
whether you know he gets
got the
injured or
ball.
not.
It wasn't a foul.
It
It
wasn't-
wasn't a
So,
foul. He got the ball.
like-
Wait, no.
No, he did get the ball.
Alright, he got the ball, but if you drag someone to the floor, is it a foul or not?
No, but that's
No, if
after
you drag someone
he
to the
won
floor,
the ball
is it
and
won
then
the
dragged
ball,
him
you
to
win
the
the
floor.
ball.
So just because you got the ball doesn't mean
yeah,
anything.
but there's a continuation of play, man. The ref carries on. Once the ball's won, when you go in for a tackle, the only reason it's a foul is because you didn't get the ball.
So
But he
I
got
would
the ball.
no. Deep what you're saying. So you're telling me I can tackle you and then
Yes.
pull you to the floor and it's not a foul.
Not necessarily,
Nah,
but
that's-
the action, like it's a continuous action. Like, do you get? So he won the ball, but their hands were tangled whilst he was winning the ball, and obviously they fell.
Which is a foul.
Nah, it's not a foul because he won the ball. It's all about winning the ball.
It's not. I can win the ball and then punch you in the face. That's a foul.
Nah, see, that's
completely
that's
different.
yeah,
How
that's-
is it different?
That's an
But the way it
extreme,
happened,
right?
Here's what I'm saying, yeah. Like,
Those are two like different
here's
events.
what I'm saying.
This is
You grab
one-
someone's shirt,
Yeah.
you pull him to the ground. you in any way unfairly impede their progress, it is a foul. It is illegal behavior.
All right.
You are not
But you
allowed
get
to
the
do
ball
it.
in
But
the
if you
process.
get the
And
ball
if
in
you
the
get the ball in the
process,
process, it is still a foul. If I pull your shirt and I win the ball,
Yeah, but the minute-
I
then
pulled your
yes,
shirt
of
and
course
it's a
that's
foul.
a foul.
Wait,
But
If I grab hold of your arm,
The
you're
maneuver
going
is
on
a
like
foul.
you're going on like they weren't both connected. It wasn't just Ramos that's coming
Yeah.
there like linking arms with Salah. They
Salah
were both
put his arm out as protection.
exactly. So
And
he
then
had
Ramos-
his arm out as well.
no. The same,
Salah
like-
put his hand out as protection. Sergio Ramos grabbed him. There's a difference.
Ah, come on.
There's a difference.
He didn't. Like at the end, obviously there was a little hook. Like when
There was-
after
there
he
was-
won
Like when they
the
were
ball.
falling, that was a bit. That
Yeah,
was
that was a
mad,
bit
that was-
like all right. There's a little hook, but it's centre backs though.
It's a.
I'm telling you,
I
it's
play
centre backs. I said this
centre-back.
to you. Look,
It's
think
centre
about,
backs.
think about like these
Here
man
goes-
like
here Alex goes on.
Vidic,
Come on.
Yeah, I've seen Vidic.
These
Vidic,
man like
Vidic plays
Campbell,
hard. Vidic plays fair.
Terry,
Plays hard and fair.
Tony Adams,
Hard and fair.
You know,
Colo
yeah.
Touré,
They've had
Sol
their mistakes
Campbell.
and their mishaps,
These
but-
man
but when it
have
comes down
always
to it-
been physical brothers.
There's
They'll
physical,
do
but
some
then there's
mad,
just
like
absolute
rough and tough tackle at the
outbrutish-
beginning of the
Doesn't
game.
mean
Bad
it. Listen,
tackling.
a foul is a foul.
Mess up the guy's head.
a
And
foul
then
is
look,
a foul.
Look at how
How
the
is it
striker
a
will be
foul if you
moving
won the
carefully.
ball?
Can I be very clear here? Yeah, the
He won
determining
the ball.
factor of whether a foul is or not is not whether you win the ball.
All right, yeah.
Is whether the tackle is clean. That's the determining factor.
But
It doesn't.
in
If
this
you win the
context,
ball,
I feel like it was
I
more
can
of a
break your
it was
ankle
more
and
of
win
a
the ball. It's
50-50.
still a
Them-
foul.
No,
Nah,
because I've
Izzy
seen
in this
guys
case is different.
literally go straight through a guy but win the ball.
Which is a foul.
No, it's not a foul because the ref
Nah, if you
plays
go
on. If
straight-
you
if
win
you-
the
if
ball,
you
you
get-
win
if
the
you
ball.
foul
And the
the
ref
man
gets right all the
first,
time,
it's
yeah?
a foul.
I'm not
No,
saying
the
the
ref
ref,
does not
but
get it right
the
every time.
ref most of the
Ref
time.
does not get it right.
Yeah, not all the time, but if you win
Hey,
the
listen.
ball, it's not a foul.
What do you
listen
mean
to
if
what
you
you're
win the ball, it's not a
saying.
foul?
Oh my.
No, you
Listen
can't
to-
put that blanket rule. You can't. No, you can't.
It's-
It depends on the
it's-
way that you
it's-
win the ball. You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, obviously depends. But in this context, what I'm saying is, it was more of like a 50-50, like
All right, you know,
shoulder
yeah?
to shoulder, hustle to hustle,
for the
like
sake of
sort of
this,
thing.
yeah, I will concede. Cool, right?
Yeah.
The tackle was fair. Are we in agreement?
Yeah.
So what happened afterwards?
He pulled him down.
Which is a foul.
Which is a foul, yeah.
Yeah, but
Tell me it's not a foul if
yes,
I dare
it-
you
yes,
right
it-
now.
No,
I'm
but it was-
saying, I'm saying it is a foul.
Hey,
I'm saying it is a foul.
this action all is all one event.
Yes,
this is one
exactly.
event. They're not two separate events.
Yeah.
Whereas like if
Aight,
you tackle
wait,
like
wait,
the
wait,
example
wait,
you said
wait,
where you
wait,
tackle
no.
someone and then punch them, those are two separate
Causation, bro.
events.
Cool, you're right. But you just agreed with me that the pulling down was a foul, and as they were one event makes the whole event a foul.
No, because he won the ball, and it's all about the ball.
He won the
It's
ball
all-
in that
it's all
one
about the ball.
initial event.
just-
So we're
just-
different into this shit.
It's all about the ball.
I'm just like in the middle right now. I don't mean-
Listen, for the sake of the
Right now.
viewers that are listening to this, yeah, just because a person wins the ball doesn't make what everything
It
else
does
happen.
not. I stand
does
by
not.
that
Foul.
point.
It
Does
doesn't.
not.
The point of a foul, right, is to prevent, right, potential injuries.
Yeah,
Right, is to make sure that play is fair, it's sportsmanlike.
yeah.
You know, in the spirit of the game. That's what a foul is there to prevent. When the foul is happened, the ref blows the whistle, in you know, as it's supposed to be done. Not all the time, ref gets it wrong sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you pull someone to the ground, it's
Yeah.
a foul. Now, going back to your point that you made on Twitter about he didn't know that it was going to cause an injury. Cool.
Yeah. So why are people like all right, let's say it was given as a foul and we all know this is a foul or something like that.
Should've
All
been.
right, cool. Like, let's not get look.
I'm gonna let you talk.
Yeah, but if you think of it, like, then why are people vilifying him? Fouls happen in football. It's part of the game.
Yeah, what repercussion do you think he should have had?
Who? Sergio
Ramos,
Ramos?
yeah.
None.
No,
Nothing.
I don't
but
think he should
I,
have
but I
that.
genuinely
Nothing.
think it's because
But
of
I-
his history. Like he
Of
just,
course,
he
he's-
just,
That's the type of
he's-
player.
yeah, that's who
Yeah,
he
and
is.
he's a
dirty.
certainly bad man defender.
I want it
You
on
need
record
defenders
as well.
like
Yeah,
that.
Ramos is my top 5 favorite defenders of all time, but he's a prick.
Yeah,
No,
no,
Real
no. Some
Madrid,
of his
Real Madrid,
behaviour is a bit,
He's a prick.
bit sus, especially when like, did you see the one where the ball came over and he's like, bare
But man
touching?
never touched it.
Yeah.
He was
No,
like 5
there
yards
was
away
no
and he
touch.
fell on the
That's the
floor,
things I don't like.
That's Spanish
to see.
players though.
But Real Madrid
yeah, it's
always had centre backs that were just like either
Aye,
like
Pepe's the
dirty
worst.
first.
Oh,
Pepe.
Pepe
Yeah,
is the
Pepe,
worst.
yeah.
From time I
He's
saw
just out
Pepe,
reckless.
from time I've seen Pepe kicking a player's
can't actually
face,
sing about pushing
kicking the
his
back.
players, I just love-
Oh, this guy's mad.
Love being like this.
What's crazy is they had both of them at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the crazy. thing.
Ramos
Bruv,
was
these
like
men
more
was-
the
it was a
silent
human
assassin
wrecking
picking
ball
up
on the
cards.
side.
And
I
Pepe
would
was
have
just
been
doing
shook as an
reckless.
attack. I ain't going through that.
Yeah,
But that's what they're trying to achieve, though,
know,
isn't it?
Yeah, and
I
this is
don't-
what I
I celebrate
mean.
myself.
Sometimes you want defenders that strike, like give the striker sort of intimidation.
And as I said, yeah, if you're a defender that relies on intimidation, you're a shit defender.
What? So you
Not
think
necessarily.
Ramos relies on intimidation?
No.
I'm-
The
this-
reason
this-
why I say this, being an Arsenal fan, you look at Laurent Koscielny, and like, I mean, I've had so much love for this guy, but so at times, yeah, this guy is so suspect.
Yeah.
Like, you'll just see this guy, like, a guy's coming, he's like looking all confused, all timid, like. My man's been in headlock. Pogba's pushed him about the place. And then the other day, even Griezmann's made him do some calamity in the Europa League. And if you have a striker that is like, yeah, I'm going to intimidate the striker. Yeah, I'm going to be tough. Ramos is not making that mistake.
Listen, but but it's just for a little bit of context. This turned into like a wider debate about defending in general, not just specifically Ramos.
Yeah.
But I was saying, yeah, that if as a defender, there's a difference between like being hard and fair, like shoulder barging, slide tackling, that's heading, putting your arms out. That's all within the rules of the game.
Yeah.
But it's when like you go that step further. Like, for example, Luis Suarez.
Oh, he did.
He's just a special
Yeah.
breed.
When you're fighting, man, and then you're handballing on the line, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
the biting
he's a
was so
special
funny because
man.
he was holding
and then
his teeth.
you acted like what chili in your head, like headbutt him in the mouth or something. And then, but like, so that's basically. So what I was saying is like, cool, like you can be tough, but then there's points where you just become reckless. And at the end of the day, this is a man's livelihood.
Yeah.
And if you put him out, like what was the Arsenal Eduardo?
Eduardo, yeah.
He was
that
out for
one.
time.
When you ruin a man's career, that's
yeah,
a
but you
different
can't
story.
compare the
But-
two. Like,
and no,
because-
that's
saying
not.
the
And
intent
as I was saying,
danger,
back to the
like-
wider discussion about
one
defending in football in general,
like-
is that the reason why these things are fouls, right, is to
Yeah.
prevent shit like that from
Yeah,
happening. So
of
when
course.
when I see what happened to Salah, and I know it's first of all, it is completely, totally, and utterly avoidable.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off.
Yeah. The reason
But
why
then
I'll
again,
say
he
they're
could-
different is because you look at the Eduardo one for the case. Everyone knows if you go in a 2-foot challenge or slow your studs, that's a red card offence. The reason why it's a red card offence is because we know that has the potential to break someone's leg just like
every
that.
illegal challenge has the potential to cause
It has the
injury.
potential.
You never know where they're
yeah,
gonna
but
fall.
you're going
You
on
never
like
know
that's
how
the
they're
only
gonna
like,
cause
in
of
terms of
injury at the same
percentages or
time. Do
stuff
you
like
get?
that.
And listen,
It's more
I
likely.
play football. I know
It's
the
not the
injuries.
only
You
cause
can't,
of
as a
injury.
footballer, you cannot say to me, I'm not gonna get injured. Like
Yeah,
it's
of
part and
course.
parcel of the game.
Yeah.
No,
But
but
at
it
the
depends
same,
Any
to the
sports.
extent that how badly you get injured, to be honest.
no,
No,
but
because you could do your knee just by running or doing a sharp turn. So you could just tear your ACL.
so then why
and
add
then-
to that reckless activities? It
But
doesn't make
it's
sense.
just- well, if we're gonna play sports, what you want people to just like not
Yeah.
Can't
touch
police
each
sports,
other,
yeah.
non-contact. Come
No,
on.
exactly.
Then we're changing sports.
I want you to play fair. I want
Yeah,
you.
but it's like-
if I can't pull you to the ground, don't pull me to the
But
ground.
do you know
If
when you
can't
do
pull
that,
your
you're
shirt-
taking away the competitiveness.
No,
So-
you're not.
It's
But
a foul.
also-
No,
also-
hold on,
also-
hold on,
also-
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
also-
hold on,
also-
hold on,
cases
hold on,
like
hold on,
tactical
no, no,
fouls.
no, 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 listen,
Look,
listen.
look. Sometimes these
No,
fouls
no,
are
no,
useful.
no.
Yes,
The reason why it's not taking away the competitiveness is because they're already illegal.
I don't know.
They're already against the rules of the game. So I'm not taking away anything by saying don't do them.
I don't want to watch a
I'm
North
asking
London
you-
derby
I'm-
with no fouls, man.
I'm asking
You're a
you
big
not to
Tottenham
do
fan. I'm a
something.
big Arsenal fan.
Listen,
We
all I
want to
want
see
to
a
add-
gritty
all
thing.
All I want, I'm asking you not to do something you're already not allowed to do. Why is that? Like that? Like
Because
Nah,
it's
I agree with him on that,
yeah,
actually.
but like Alex was saying, tactical fouls are smart. Like they like you need them sometimes. Imagine.
Cool. I watched the Fulham Aston Villa.
Yeah,
Jedinak, tactical foul in the middle of the park,
Yeah.
pulled man to the ground.
yeah.
I'm like, I can see why that happened.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say, oh, I endorsed that? Well done, you did well. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm saying as I told you, if you're in a position, where
I'll
you have
say
to
well
make a
done.
tactical foul,
Yeah.
either your team fucked up or you fucked up.
Yeah.
So you fucked up. That's your business.
But
Take that L, my G.
sometimes
No, you
with
don't
fouls-
have to
sometimes-
take
Take that
L.
L.
No,
You gotta be a
sometimes
better. You
with
gotta be a better
fouls,
player.
You have to rely
better player.
on like
Level up.
last man decision. Like
best-
last man.
Level up and beat that boss.
What? No, sometimes you need like that last man
Come on, Super Mario.
intervention. Like if
Last minute intervention.
if-
That's
cool.
red card.
Look,
Straight away.
Last minute intervention. Cool.
no, but if like
fouling.
alright, say if
Nah,
Chiellini
I'm not
comes
about
back
it.
and he
Fouling with no
he
threat.
does a goal line clearance or like a last
So-
man tackle and wins the ball, we're going to be praising him because it's like the get out of jail card for the team. So why shouldn't someone do a tactical foul in that case to save the team? Because it is a team sport in the end of the day.
Because
I
if
know
you
it
as a
comes
team,
from bad problems,
in a
but he's just
position-
saved that problem,
No.
and now they can go again.
Nah, because that's cheating, my G.
That is cheating. And number one,
That's
if it
cheating.
was
No,
a bad
that's
tackle that
being
ends up-
smart.
That's cheating.
That's
if
being
a bad
smart.
tackle
That's
that ends up
cheating.
in a card, you're still affecting the rest of your team,
That's
so it goes
cheating,
both ways.
fam.
But wait, what's
It's
the aim
affecting
of
the team, but
playing
like
It's
a
affecting
goal
both
is
ways,
probably
so you're reckless.
To win within the
conceding a goal
rules.
is the worst case
Sportsmanship.
scenario.
That's
Losing the
what
game is the
aim of
worst case
sports is to win
scenario.
within the
A yellow
rules.
card is not the
Otherwise,
worst
I'm
case
gonna
scenario.
take mad drugs and play the game. Fuck it, I
Of course,
don't
the
care.
yellow card isn't worst case scenario, but it could have been worse than that.
the aim is to win.
I'm gonna take mad drugs and play the game. Then cool. You got no
The
problems
aim
with
is
that.
to win. Don't get me wrong. The aim is to
The
win.
aim is
yeah?
to win.
I
But
can
not
do
at all
whatever I
costs.
want.
Not
I can
all
do whatever I
costs.
No,
want.
at all costs.
Not
That
all
is
costs,
It
at
is
all
at
costs.
all
It
costs.
is.
You're not trying to
That
kill
is the
people.
game
If you ask
I grew up on.
all them
It's
22
costs.
players
We're
that
not
were on
changing
that
this into
pitch.
a non-contact sport, and that's what we're not going
No,
to.
no,
Again-
it cannot be a non-contact
again-
sport. Why, how's that going to work?
Again, as I said, it's not changing into a non-contact sport. I'm simply asking you not to do something you're already not allowed to do. That's it.
But you want to win. And
Yeah,
sometimes you
but
have
not
to
every
do
player
stuff
is- not
to
every player's
win.
a dirty player.
No,
Exactly.
no.
Yep.
Do you know why?
Sometimes you
do
have
you know
to.
why?
You
break-
have
do
to,
you know how-
even in life. It's
No.
like,
In sports, there are rules. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And you break the rules,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what happens?
You get penalised for
Yellow
it.
card.
And you get disqualified from the sport, so you haven't won. You haven't won anything. And the point is, yeah, if you're saying I can do whatever I want in the interest of winning,
When Sergio Ramos wins the La Liga title with 4 red cards, he's still collecting his medal.
but
So
his
he's still
team,
won.
but did he win it by himself?
No, but it's a team sport. That's the
Wait,
whole
and
thing.
if you got red card, are you on the pitch, off the pitch?
You're off the pitch.
So
but
how
overall,
can you?
the
How
whole
can,
season.
so
You
they
didn't
the
take
whole
part.
season
You
he
didn't
wins.
take
So
part.
from the point when you get sent off, yeah, you have no more impact what happens on the game.
Yeah.
You're basically a liability for your team.
Yeah.
That's what's happened.
Yeah.
So his team have won the league without him. That's what you're telling me.
nah,
That's what you're telling
because
me.
he's just got 4 red cards. It's not. It's a 38 league season.
But if he
man.
got no red cards and he still won the league,
yeah, but
would they not have won the league still?
that's
How
debatable
do you-
because
we
maybe
don't-
that
we
red
don't know.
card.
Maybe that
you
red
know,
card
like
could
the
have been the
I don't know.
difference.
But when Real Madrid don't have Ramos, it's like hard for them. Same when they have
Because
Ronaldo.
Ramos is a fantastic
Like,
defender.
exactly.
The difference is he's a fantastic defender,
So that
a
question,
football
like, it's
player.
kind of hard to say. If
He's
he wasn't there, you
amazing.
don't know.
That's all. I don't disagree with the fact that he's an amazing defender. I'm just
Yeah.
simply saying,
You're saying you
do
just don't
not
want
do
fouls.
what you're
Yeah,
not allowed
End
to
of the
do.
day, end of the
Get
day.
the
yeah,
frustration.
That's
End of the
it.
day, each
And as
player
I said,
has their own definition.
and
of
as I
what's a
said to you,
foul,
yeah, like
what's not a foul.
if what you've done now, oh, I didn't know that he's gonna, injure a man, then alright, cool, but nah, he's still injured.
Yeah, now when I look at defenders, when I say the true embodiment of someone who's physical but fair is Chiellini for me.
There we go.
Bruv,
There
he's a
we go.
winner.
That's what you should be.
100%.
From the Champions League game against Tottenham, yeah, I can
Oh,
on hands on
amazing.
heart and say he's one of the greatest defenders I've ever watched play
Yeah.
the game in my life.
It's Italians, man.
Yeah, that man are
Italians are
serious.
different.
From
They-
time
they
you
know how
have
to
man like
defend.
Cannavaro and all
Yeah.
these, so many certain
Nesta,
defenders.
all of them.
Just a complete unit.
Yeah, they embody defense.
Right there.
Bring
Yeah,
it.
man.
Speaking of Italians, let's bring it on to the World Cup.
Oh no, they're
Oh,
out.
they're
fam.
not in the
They're
World Cup
out.
though.
I
bro.
didn't say they're in it. Like, it just gelled, boys. Like, relax. What are you lot's predictions for the World
France.
Cup?
Nah,
Because I'm tired of
France.
talking about Liverpool and their poor performance. I can't.
France are chokers.
Oh, they better not be, They've got too many men to not win.
Pogba missed a free header
France
in the FA Cup
France
final.
got
Too
France
many
is
men that
semi-final,
shouldn't win.
final, but I don't think they're gonna win it.
I think
I want
France
them
are
to win it.
semi-final team.
France
are
are winning,
semi-final
France
team.
are
They're not gonna win it, but I
we
want them to
talked
win
about it. We calculated,
Yeah,
didn't we?
France will make semi.
Who was?
Guys,
It's either
Eder
Germany-
from Swansea City beat France in
It was a
their,
lucky shot.
in their country.
Oh yeah, that was.
It was
Yeah,
a
that's
lucky
embarrassing.
shot.
Come
That
on.
was embarrassing.
And do you expect them to win in Russia?
I can't lie. That hurt me. That hurt me. I can't
Yeah, I
lie.
can't lie.
When
I
they
was back
lost,
in
that
France
hurt
to
me,
be
man.
honest.
I was rooting for them.
Oh, who do you think is gonna be
Leave
top
France.
goal scorer?
Eder. So
Because I
just had
saw
to
a
put
really
that out.
interesting bet the other day. Like, I think it was one of the
Man,
betting
don't gamble,
companies.
innit?
Top
It's
scorer.
my religion.
It was man said against. It was something like, yeah, who do you think's gonna be top goal scorer? And it was like put a £10 bet on them, and then every goal they score, you get a £5 free bet.
Well, who do you think?
So who do you think it's gonna be? I think, like, if I was to have a cheeky punt, I would say Neymar. Definitely.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
he's
Neymar's
different
got-
when he plays for Brazil.
Neymar, like, cause last World Cup he was doing bits until he got
Yeah.
injured. Brazil were doing bits until he got injured. Really.
He puts like
Still, like that being said, I don't think
Superman
they still
kick.
would have beat Germany. Even
No,
though
No,
Germany
they wouldn't.
slapped-
But they
Germany
wouldn't have got.
slapped.
They wouldn't have got slapped
They
like
got
that.
slapped.
yeah, that 7-1 is a bit.
It would have been maybe a 2-1 or something
Brazil.
like that.
Brazil have to win the World Cup after. Just on the back of that.
Yeah, Brazil. I think. Do you think Brazil can do it?
Win
yeah,
it.
he
win
has
it.
help now.
got
He
the
has
team.
like
They've got
They've
Coutinho,
got the team.
Firmino, Neymar.
Their attack.
Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, that
Douglas
him.
Costa is on the bench.
Yeah, Williams.
Yeah, they
on
could
the
do.
No, they got
Williams
a lot of
been the
wingers.
waviest
though.
play, one of the waviest players.
Yeah,
in
but
the
that's what
Premier
Brazil
League
do
right
though. They put the wingers in the middle and just do bare
Few
feet.
bears. Yeah, they've got bare like of these like
Just
sort of
bare
cam wingers sort of
And then they give
players.
the ball to Coutinho and he'll whip it top bins from 35
'cause
yards for fun.
Coutinho just he just loves doing that.
He's probably the
cutting
best
and-
opening season for Barcelona ever. Coutinho, he's just been doing too
Can't
much.
actually, if I'm Coutinho though, I'm slightly burning.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool made Champions League final and you left.
Yeah.
And you left for Barcelona, bro.
It's a bit mad. But yeah,
To
no,
lose to,
my
to
prediction,
lose to Roma.
I'm going with yeah, I'll probably go with Brazil. Brazil definitely. Brazil are favourites.
Brazil
Germany,
or Germany
for
for
me.
Brazil or Germany, I would say.
Brazil or
Yeah,
For me.
that's the logical
I wouldn't
Wait,
talk
so-
about from me like Müller or
top scorer.
maybe.
Yeah, Muller loves the World
logical.
Cup. He,
Yeah,
he
he
really
does.
does love it.
And
He's that little scuffle. There's little scuffles in the box, and you just see him tap it in. And
Yeah,
he's that
that
kind of
was
player,
it.
innit?
Tap-ins.
right place,
Muller
right
is
time,
king
all
of
the
time.
No
time.
players like that irritate me so much. It's like, why are you there?
You just see Muller with his long legs, and he just does that, and you're like,
And he shits halfway down his like leg.
Like,
I'm
know-
thinking,
yeah, no,
why
he's
You
is
know,
like-
Spain are still.
his socks are always
Yeah.
so low.
Spain are still like. If you look at their squad, they're still stacked, and they have Diego Costa playing up top for them.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna gel that well.
You don't think they've been there for a couple
Spain,
years now?
Spain are probably semi-final. I think is it Argentina they're gonna get like if everything works out
I
in
didn't
quarter.
check the tape.
Yeah.
Do you want me to check again?
Nah, I think it was from last time.
Yeah, but I
think
don't remember.
so.
I might have to check.
I'm certain it would be like Argentina versus Spain at some point.
So you think Argentina are a better team than
If I'm
Spain?
picking
No, I
someone-
think Spain. If I was to pick out of them two, I said it the other time. I said that would probably go extra time. And probably like Spain would win it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's one of those games that got that extra time sort of feel to it. Like, and I want to see as many extra times and penalties.
I
as
want
can
Argentina to
possibly
win the World
see.
Cup.
I want to
so
see.
You
Messi
want
best of
Messi
all
to
time?
just be
Shout out
best of
Messi.
all time.
Messi
If Messi don't win a World Cup, I cannot say
That's
he's
the only
the
thing
best
he's
of all
missing, really.
time.
No, you can't.
Not yet.
So who's the best of all time in your
I
opinion?
was having this argument the other day.
Maradona.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho is the waviest
Ronaldinho's the
ever.
GOAT.
Waviest.
Ronaldinho didn't do it long enough though.
Don't care.
No, if I
He
see Ronaldinho on
dominated
road,
the
I will
amount of years he
scream.
was in.
I really.
I will scream my lungs out for Ronaldinho.
Yeah,
That
I
says a
don't-
lot.
It's one of
I'm a
them ones where
grown
like,
man.
I'm a stand,
Yeah,
but you can
swear.
say whatever you want. I'm gonna go. Nope,
Yeah.
don't care.
Yes. I'm waiting for the African teams to show their celebrations. They always turn
Yeah.
out
Come
with their
up- they come up with
celebrations.
that.
Yeah,
They're
it's
gonna go out,
Senegal.
yeah, Senegal,
Guarda,
Nigeria,
Guarda.
Yeah.
Guarda,
Morocco,
Guarda,
Tunisia, Egypt's in it.
Egypt.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But Egypt, they knocked out Uganda, bro.
I'm sorry, stop hating.
Nah,
Just because-
I have love for Salah, but like he
Bring
scored the
Uganda's
penalty that
country
knocked
flag.
Uganda out. Just putting it out there, we were top of the group until then. Could have been
calm.
us.
I almost got it back. It's calm.
I know, but listen, the fact that the last 5 minutes of that game though, come on, man, you can't say you didn't watch it and feel some kind of way for Egypt.
Nah, I was
No,
angry.
easy, can
Bro, I was angry. That could have been the first and probably only ever World Cup Uganda could have made. So I was just there like, "Ugh." But yeah, man, it happens.
I
It
watched
happens.
that, yeah, I see the whole Egypt just.
Yeah,
break
they'll
down and
go
start
mad.
crying. I was thinking, yo.
Uganda are gonna finally make it when I'm a family of 11 boys. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you're gonna have
It's
a
all
whole
good.
football team.
He's gonna have a whole squad. Side.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nigeria are gonna make a quarterfinals and get knocked out as usual.
Excuse me?
Nigeria's gonna make quarterfinals and get knocked out.
There can only be 4 teams, bro.
Quarterfinals.
That's a quarterfinals, you know.
Have you seen their group?
Nigeria gonna
Yeah,
make
Nigeria gonna
quarterfinals,
come
England or
second to
not?
Argentina.
Huh?
You don't think Croatia's better than Nigeria?
Or
Luke-
Belgium?
Luka Modric.
Belgium's in England's group. What are you talking about?
Luka Modric, Rakitic, Mandzukic, Lovren.
Lovren is. I don't think that's the name we should be calling that.
Lovren had a great final. He had a great, like, we have to give it to him. He had a great final.
It wasn't that sus.
He had a great final.
Nah, I'll be honest. Lucky Nigeria will be lucky to make it out the group still.
Yeah, they're not making
Who's in Nigeria's group? Argentina.
No, the
Argentina and
only
Croatia.
only two teams here I really care about in the group
Nigeria
is
and
Argentina and
Argentina
Croatia.
love playing each other
Always.
Always.
forever.
For like the last 2 World Cups I remember, it's been Argentina and Nigeria in the same group.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
doing
yeah.
right.
I think if we beat Croatia, then we're through.
Yeah.
Modric is
the
gonna make
14th.
Iwobi look like.
It doesn't matter.
No,
But
Iwobi turns
Iwobi
up.
for
No, listen,
Nigeria
Iwobi
is
turns up at the
something
World
else.
Cup.
I want to
Iwobi
see
turns
that
up.
Iwobi for Arsenal. This guy can't shoot for Arsenal, but Nigeria, I'm seeing
Yeah, I
him
can't lie to you. He
twist
magic.
flares,
He turns up.
Do you know what it is?
fake
When-
shots.
No,
all
you know
sorts
what
of
it is?
things.
When he steps into that Nigeria shirt, he just feels the spirit of JJ.
See, because when you look at Arsenal, you're like, this guy's not related to JJ.
Yeah.
No way.
You feel that spirit of JJ.
He just comes out. He's mad.
Actually, I just wish them all the best. Him all the best as an Arsenal player, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal, he doesn't do enough. So
I just want to see African nations do well, man.
yeah, listen,
Yeah,
man.
fuck Luis Suarez.
Because I'm
Do
not
you
really.
Suarez,
do you
Suarez
think-
ruined it?
Oh.
Ruined it.
Do you
I
think
remember
an
that
African
day.
team will
Horrible
ever win the World Cup?
Give me a time
Yeah.
period. Because at some point, statistically, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we'll go.
15 years.
In the next 15
15
years.
years.
100%.
15. 1-5. 1-5.
100%.
But you have to take into consideration that a lot of them play for European teams.
Yeah. That's
That
the
is very
problem.
true.
But now
France,
you're seeing some of
Belgium.
these players like now
Yeah, but
deciding
then
to play
no,
for their.
You're right,
their
but most of the
actual-
time they just become nationalised and end up playing for France, end up playing for Belgium, end up playing for England. Like a lot of the time, they don't even go back to play for Nigeria anymore.
Yeah,
Or
that's
Ghana.
that's what I'm saying. So, do you ever think
Nah,
an
I don't-
African
I don't-
team
I
will
don't
ever
see it.
win?
I think-
If the
No,
players
I feel like some of the players now, like you see the Wobis, Zaha, but Zaha's case was a bit different. But like they're starting to decide to play for like the country where their parents are from, rather than
Sneaking
like
the thing
England
like
and
Jerome
all that.
Boateng.
Like you're starting to see that more often now. So if that does continue,
Yeah, that was a magic.
yeah, we have a chance.
Exactly. If they start playing for the countries where
They
they
won't,
originate
though. Let's
from
be
and not where they were
honest, they
born,
won't.
then yeah.
They won't.
But
That's
they
a-
want the better players. So
Yeah.
they
Because
they
deep in
wanna-
what Oliver's asking you is, do you think there's ever going to be an African team that's better than the current
And the
Germany
Euro-
or Brazil team?
Yeah.
That's a tough
That's
one.
a tough
It's
one
you're
to
very
crack,
confident.
you
Tough
know.
one.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't see it. I don't. As much as I would love to, I'm going to be the first one to win the World Cup.
Might say I'm going to be the first one to win the World Cup. You know? I love the confidence.
Yeah, I mean, go put it out there.
I
innit?
can't lie. I love the confidence. I love the confidence. You got
Hey, but I mean, shit. Nah, I'm gonna be honest. Difficult. I'm not gonna say no. Let me put it that way. I'm not gonna say no.
I just think as long as they grow up in Europe or wherever they grow up, I don't think they
Yeah,
will
but
go
they
back
don't have the
to playing.
infrastructure to like compete.
Like if Jerome Boateng playing for Ghana and stuff like, you have players like that. Like
all the Boateng.
if they're like if they were both will play.
Bear them.
Just a team full of Boatengs.
it. Yeah, but we mean the one who played for
Germany, yeah. If
Yeah.
we had him play for Ghana, their defense, you just look at some of these players. I'm just like, oh, why don't you play for? Your
You say
country,
that,
man?
and then he's got a World Cup medal.
Yeah,
Exactly.
true. He's,
That's-
yeah,
that's what I'm
I know.
saying.
It's not even like Germany would miss him though. If
It's
he
true
didn't
that.
play for them.
That's
True that.
Yeah, they've
and
got.
when
they've
they
got
won the
enough.
World Cup, he
better.
was their best centre back.
True.
He was.
So,
It's like
But they've
they've
got enough.
ranks.
They've got enough in the
yeah,
locker.
they've got
Yeah,
enough.
it's true.
Frank.
Germany
Even at the
select
time,
team.
they still had Mertesacker, they had Mustafi, they had all these like defenders.
yeah.
Who
there.
plays like is it Hummels that normally plays with?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hummels and,
During that World Cup, it was Mertesacker though, right?
yeah, no, they played Mertesacker like some
Don't know why
games.
you
They
do that.
changed between Mertesacker and Hummels.
Hummels is
They
a
must
defender.
rate
Hummels.
Mertesacker highly.
yeah.
I love
Bro,
Hummels.
why would you do that? They must rate him highly.
Yeah, Hummels.
No, Mertesacker.
Oh.
I don't rate him
Yeah,
too
they were
much.
playing him quite a bit.
Do you know what it is? Mertesacker's like captain material, so
Yeah.
you want him in the team just for the
Yeah.
fact that he's the
Yeah.
guy to
I think
lead the team.
Mertesacker's captain material,
Mertesacker's good if you put like a decent system around him. You play high line.
Yeah,
This
forget
guy's
it.
getting
Forget
figured
it.
out.
yeah.
Even so, you've got
He moves as fast as a tree.
you've got Hummels, you've got Boateng, you've got Lam. Schweinsteiger, I'm not sure he plays anymore, but
Yeah,
No, he doesn't.
captain material.
they had
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
leaders.
So,
Lam
I don't know
retired
why you
as
do
well.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We're getting on to leaders. Like, what do you think about like England and like they made Harry Kane captain? What do you think?
Who else? They're gonna really make captain. The team is mad young. They got like Cahill and that's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cahill,
Cahill
deserves to be more the
Henderson.
captain than.
To be fair, I put Henderson.
I would have
if anyone, it
said
has to be Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson. I didn't
yeah.
get Kane. Is it gonna be another one of those ones where we're seeing Kane doing everything like
But
corner
let's be
kicks
honest
and
though,
that?
yeah,
That's
like
mad.
captains don't really do shit in football anymore.
What?
More
No, that's
representation.
nah. That's not.
They-
That's
As an Arsenal fan,
because
we've
Ramos
had
is
crap
important
captains.
to Real Madrid.
Nah.
But if Ramos wasn't the captain, he would be exactly the same. So
English
his
teams,
effect
no.
wouldn't
I think
diminish
Spanish teams,
on the
yeah.
fact that he's lost the captain's armband. If they give the captain's armband to Ronaldo, like I don't think what Ramos does for the team would be diminished in any way.
That's
Ramos
yeah.
too
That's a
selfish,
good
man.
point. That's a good point. Because Mascherano kind of like leads Argentina, and
Yeah,
Messi's the
like,
captain.
The last
Yeah.
time I really seen like a captain be a captain was like Puyol.
Are we gonna forget about the Legend that is John Terry.
John
I wouldn't give it legend,
No,
but
no, you
good
cannot.
player.
Wow.
You
Only-
cannot
only-
deny
can I-
him as a
can I-
legend.
Wow.
good player. Good
Just
player.
for the record,
Wow.
Kofi, you
Oliver
cannot
is a
deny
Chelsea
him as a
fan. Just for the
legend.
record, Oliver's
For
a
all the
Chelsea fan.
dirt,
I'm
for
shaking
all the
my
dirt
head.
he's
Course
done,
he is.
he's a legend still.
Yeah, but
Legend.
But he's a scumbag.
if I'm having
Yeah.
Done
Let me
enough
say
for the
that.
international
Alright,
team
cool.
though. It's
If
not
I'm
done
picking
enough.
one between Puyo and Terry, I'm picking Puyo.
Yeah,
The style of play is completely
Boo.
I'm always
terrible as Puyol's.
I'm always picking Puyo. I'm not gonna lie, just because I don't like to.
Yeah,
was
no,
watching,
but it's
But yeah,
I was watching. They were like before the Champions League final. They were playing like all the old finals.
Yeah.
Up into it, and it was 09, I think, and it was Barcelona and Man United.
yeah,
He's a leader of the team.
yeah.
I
Puyo
was just
is
watching it. He's a leader of the team.
leader.
You've
Like,
got all these other sick players that obviously could
Puyo the
probably do
caveman.
that,
Yeah.
but he's the leader of the team. Like,
yeah.
there's no other way.
that
Makes
is
no
like someone
sense.
you can say, like when you like if you take him out the team, or like if he's like not like you know like he's something else, man.
Yeah.
But I feel captains is important just being an Arsenal fan because
It's
been
because we're
no
English and we
leader.
like
Yeah.
captains.
No
like,
leader,
You
you
have
want
to deep
that
it. In all these other countries, yeah,
guy.
captains is just an armband that you just give
Yeah.
someone as well.
I
Just
mean,
have to
like,
do it.
more time recently with Arsenal, they give the armband to the players that's almost about to leave. Like, please stay. Like, you got the Van Persies, you got the
So what is
Fabregases.
Ozil
and that.
going to be the next captain? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, let's not talk about that.
I
guy.
really don't care.
Let's not talk about that guy. He's just bored, just passing the ball and just sitting there doing nothing.
Like, hey, listen, don't say. I'll
No.
back Ozil. I'm not even.
No, he's
I'm
still a
good
backing
player,
Ozil,
but
like,
Nah,
he's
you're
not got heart in
contradicting
it.
yourself now.
He's not got a heart in it.
He's
not
going
got-
to have a
But he's
good
bored.
World Cup.
He's bored.
He's going to have a good World Cup because he's so much better when he's around
For
better
Germany.
players.
It's a
Oh my
system.
days, he is
Ozil
He's
needs
so
a
much
system.
better
Words
around
cannot
better
describe
players.
how
But
good
then
Ozil is for
again,
Germany.
you can't have a system just to suit one
He's
player.
not a
That's
star
the problem.
player. He's if you've got like 2 or 3 star men, he's perfect for getting them the ball. But
Yeah.
he's not a star player.
He's an assist man.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
I
a number
just
10.
That's why he says you need a service. I mean, you need assistance. System to give him a service. So
That
he
should
gives
just
good
be on his
service.
like Instagram bio.
Yeah,
Are you in need of
slogan.
assistance?
Ozil definitely needs help, man. Literally, the overhyped. He's good for Germany, but it's just Arsenal just doesn't do enough, man.
You need to surround him with good players.
But
But
we
then
need
that
better
doesn't make
wingers.
that means he's a good player, but not
need
a
a
great
better
player.
team.
Does it not?
We need wingers
Yeah,
that
yeah,
make
it does.
runs,
He
not
should be able
wingers
to
that
just
cut in.
do
Because
enough.
Ozil's not gonna pass to someone that's gonna.
Nah,
Come
not true,
inside.
not true. I think that if you're balanced, if the team is balanced with 2 of those kind of wingers, then it could work because if they're running in behind the defenders,
Yeah.
rather than like you can run out wide outside or in behind the defender.
Yeah.
But if you're always coming like showing inside,
Yeah.
you diminish Ozil's effect.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Arsenal do. You
Yeah.
got Iwobi on one side, and then you'll say have Welbeck or any given partner, but they're always bound to come inside and be like, pass the ball.
Like
Let's,
if
let's
you
play.
put Ozil into a Liverpool team now,
yeah,
you're
that this guy's
Even
not
when he
good,
was
man.
at Real Madrid,
Yeah.
because you have Ronaldo that came inside, but Di Maria kept going out. On the
Yeah,
outside, so it
exactly.
worked.
Yeah.
Calm.
So
We've got to see in it. See what happens, man. Got to see what happens.
Yeah, that's
So the recent, events of late, I want to talk about Pusha T
King Push.
and
yeah,
all-time all-star Aubrey, Drake, whoever you want to call him,
Aubrey.
Mr.
Aubrey.
God's plan and that.
Ooh, I can't sing.
No.
But
Wait.
yeah.
So
Talking about singing
this
nigga and a lyrical
morning-
guy.
This
I wake
morning,
up and shout out to my boy Ketchy because he put me onto a little gem that I think I believe you man haven't heard. You haven't heard Pusha T's response,
no.
the story
Don't
of
hear me.
addiction.
He had one.
Alright, Kofi,
Let me run that.
Run that track
I'm
one
hearing it
time.
for the first time
Run that
myself.
track.
So
slap it up full volume,
Full volume. I want to feel it.
and I want first
I
response.
want bars.
I'm going around the room, starting with Zach because obviously Zach's resident artist in the
I
building.
want bars. Okay. That's just what I'm saying. I want bars.
Oh, hey, man,
I want
you-
to hurt him.
You and me both.
Because Drake kind of slapped
You
him
want
up.
you
I
want
want
pain?
bars.
alright, it's called The Story of Adidon.
What?
Drake diss in brackets.
Adidon.
I don't know what he means.
Adidon.
I don't even know what it means.
That's
You
so
deep
fresh.
it when
I
you.
don't know what he means, but
Yeah,
we're gonna find out.
I
We're gonna
think
find
he's-
out.
find out.
Isn't he switching to Adidas or something?
Nah.
Pusha T's
that's-
already on
He's with
Adidas.
That's a
Adidas.
good
He's
shout.
with Adidas.
That's
Yeah.
a good shout, but no, he's talking about Drake. You're talking about Drake, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Drake's just doing what he wants right now. To be honest, he's doing Nike one day, Adidas,
Adidon.
doing Pat another day. But I'm gonna run it.
Easy money.
It's a Jay-Z. Jay-Z's
Yeah.
beat.
It's about to be a surgical summer.
I like it already. To be honest,
Chop the tops off the coupes. The 400 y 8.
Don't say anything.
And you know we gotta cut the heads off these snakes, right?
Cut it. Snip, snip.
Watch the body drop. Drug dealing aside, ghost writing aside. Let's have a heart to heart about your pride. Even though you're multi, I see that your soul don't look alive. The M's count different when baby divides the pie. Wait, let's examine why your music for the past few years been angry and full of lies. I started at the home front, I'm on one. Dennis Graham, stay off the gram, bitch, I'm on one. You mentioned wedding ring like it's a bad thing. Your father walked away at 5, hell of a dad thing. Marriage is something that Sandy never had, Drake. How you a winner, but she keep coming in last place. Monkey suit Dennis, you parade him. A Steve Harvey suit nigga made him. Confused, always felt you weren't black enough. Afraid to grow it cause your fro wouldn't nap enough. Since you let him know who you chose as your Beyonce. Sophie knows better as your baby mother. Cleaned her up for IG, but the stench is on her. A baby's involved, it's deeper than rap. We talking character, let me keep with the facts. You are hiding a child, let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border patrol. Ooh, Adonis is your son, and he deserves more than an Adidas press run. That's real. Love that baby, respect that girl. Forget she's a porn star, let her be your world. Yeah. How dare you put yay in my verses? I'm selfish, I want all of the curses. I'm pre-booking the churches, me versus 3 hearses. If we all go to hell, it'll be worth it. Already aligned with the greats. And on that same note, the only ones I chase are 2 ghosts. Still giving you classics. That's the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. How much time he got that man? I got the devil flow, nigga. 666. Surgical summer with it. Snip, snip, snip. And you don't really want it with him. Surgical summer volume 1. We gonna take this slow. We just gonna peel it back layer by layer. Yeah. Daytona. Album of the motherfucking year.
That's what we saying.
Why did he have to come at 40?
It's the best at homie.
Yeah, I like that.
It was cold, innit?
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. His Birdman, wait, his dad as well.
Yep.
Just trying to pick up everyone. Has he got a kid?
Again, this is what I'm saying though, innit?
Uh,
Because like obviously when I listen to it, yeah, I was saying, alright, cool. You got the Birdman reference. You've got the black ambiguity references.
Yeah.
You've got and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, bro, where's this kid come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
I was
Well,
thinking-
no, there was rumors like.
Of course, it's rumors though,
like-
innit? But like I'm thinking like, yo, like this is
Rumors are not confirmed news, so
yeah.
That's true.
reason why they're
Well,
called
I mean,
rumours.
if you're just throwing fire on a flame like that, there's got to be. I mean, they say no fire. What the fuck? No fire about. No smoke about fire, right? So got to be a
Nah,
little
not.
something there.
No, I liked it.
I mean, you know what?
liked it.
From what you said earlier about, it's not as good, but it's not so as direct at Drake. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
That's why it's not picking up
That's,
reception.
Yeah.
I say
And
that's
why I'm
not
not
that's not
feeling
Ether
it too
level.
much, but
It's not.
It's
I
not
like
yet.
his flow.
Yeah. But no,
I like
It's not
what he
hitting up
said.
levels, though,
It's
is it?
it's a solid diss, but it's not nothing that's gonna like catch my
It's
attention.
not
and be
catching
like,
headlines because people don't understand. People
whoa,
don't know.
He's
But
really come at Drake like that.
Yeah.
Like,
But at the
it's
same
like-
time, I don't feel like either of them like went at each other for them to like end each other's career.
Yeah.
Like you know how
They've not even close, yeah.
you know how
Yeah.
Kendrick did the control verse.
yeah.
Anyway, everyone,
Hey,
right?
Oh, we have arguments about this
yeah,
all
just
the
before
time.
you go on, yeah,
Yeah.
me and this guy argue about this verse
So many.
forever. I think it's one of my favorite verses of all time. He still
Like,
hates, fam.
yeah, exactly. Right.
I
so-
don't. I like
you
it, but
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. So you know how he went at the control verse, and that was like everyone was just like, whoa, to the point where everyone has to come back.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I feel like firstly with infrared, I feel like that was just like a tap.
it's
That was,
like
that was a tickle. That,
yo,
that one night.
yeah.
And then I mean like everyone always hyped stuff up, but I don't feel like if anything that just was marketing really. And then Drake came with a Duppy freestyle, and that didn't put Pusha T out of a
side
career.
was
It was
so
hard.
disrespectful.
It was hard, and people on the radio were hyping it up. And then I was on the way back to Brian actually, and my dad was like, "Oh, that was good," and I was like, "Yeah, it was good," but it didn't put him out of like. No one's like, "Oh, Pusha T's wet now."
Yeah.
But
like he didn't do what he did to Meek Mill, basically.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
no way.
No, it wasn't
no
that
way.
level at all. But again, this
But
one, this
socially,
track, it's not like
On the
yeah,
social media,
yeah,
the
exactly.
social media,
Exactly.
that hit when he
But
said
everyone's
it.
always-
People
everyone's
were
always
more
gonna take
reacting
Drake's side
to the
anyway.
fact
Everyone loves Drake.
Kanye's name was dragged like
Exactly.
bears. Like both of them
Kanye
have
can't help
used.
but have his name dragged.
used-
these days,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, both of them. What I found interesting is both of them did use Kanye in both of their respective. Like I think in Infrared, like Pusha T uses Kanye to like literally like, why are you chilling with this guy? innit? Like, and then obviously Drake's gone and said, I've done. Father had to stretch his hands and all of
Father
that
had
stuff.
to stretch his hand and pops out for 30 hours.
Yeah, that when I heard that, I was like,
Boy!
whoa! I was like, whoa! Aren't you
But
two
this is-
friends?
no, but this
Weren't
is
you in
what
the
I'm- this is
studio
what
a
I'm
couple
saying,
months
though,
ago
like,
writing music for him?
Going back to what you were saying about the bars and that, I thought Drake's bars on Duppy was better than what.
They're more relatable. They're
Yeah.
more relatable. Everyone that like listens to Pusha T like that.
You come
Like,
for
when I talk to them,
metaphors.
they're
and
like, like.
but
Everyone
the
always
wordplay.
says,
But just bare
Pusha
coke.
T just talks about
Coke.
like, yeah, exactly, right. That's what you know. Pusha T.
Yeah,
push
yeah.
it,
Push
push
it.
it, man.
That's exactly.
Pusha
That's
T, that's
pushing
where
the product.
King Push.
That's
what
what
he
he
talks
talks about.
about.
Pushing the product.
So when he's like, oh, you rap like you sold crack for Escobar in the 80s. Everyone's like, oh,
Yeah, that's
that's
like,
what like
oh
you
yeah.
were known for.
And then it's them the line where it was like, you rap what you know, like but it was like
Oh yeah,
his
no,
brother,
you
his
don't-
cousin and
he
his
said
brother.
you don't rap, you rap what you saw. So
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
basically
that
you weren't
one,
the ones
yeah.
doing it. Your brothers
Yeah.
were active in the lifestyle, and you were just there
Yeah.
as a bystander.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
So
then he
everyone's
said,
able to
"You
say
have
that.
no malice in your heart."
Oh, when I saw that, I was like,
What's the mad
Yeah,
is?
so
I
my
was
boys
like,
But that's what I'm trying to
Oh.
say though. Like that wordplay is clever. It's smart. It's witty. It's like that's.
I would expect Pusha
that-
to come with
that's
this word.
it.
No,
Exactly.
I
That's what
actually thought, I was like, why did he not say that?
Exactly, but that's, the whole thing is like, I feel like, especially with people that listen to hip hop like that and know
Yeah.
about it, I feel like people could take Drake's side because Drake put them things in it, makes them go, oh snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like Pusha was just like rapping.
Do
And
you know what it was?
it
I
was
felt like there was like the two things I mentioned about the blackness bar and the thing about his dad leaving and that he needs to step up and be a dad. Other than that, the rest of it was just like wasted space. But
Yeah,
in Duppy, I felt there was so many
Yeah,
like
exactly.
So many-
jab,
Yeah.
jab,
Yeah,
jab, jab,
yeah,
jab, jab.
Like,
Like,
just
I was
filler
thinking,
bars with Pusha, really.
Like,
Yeah.
Just filler bars.
even the Virgil thing, that hurt.
Oh,
that
I
hurt.
could never keep a Virgil in my
Oh, that
circle.
hurt
Yeah, no,
me.
that hurt me
not-
Because
I
I'm
rate
such a
Virgil.
Kanye
I'm
stan,
not
by
like-
the way, just to
yeah.
put it out there. But that hurt me. I was like, oh,
And like at the time that Virgil's so big right now
Yeah,
that
exactly.
people don't know and they're like, wow.
Yeah.
I'd be
And
wearing
he's just
my
gonna make people
Off-Whites
hate
as well.
Kanye even more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's true. Fam.
Oh.
And it's I can't lie to you though. Like my overwhelming response was like it was anticlimactic. I was thinking like, yeah, I'm ready for these bars. I'm
Yeah.
ready for these bars.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, is that it? Like
I want something better.
And it's something raw. man.
Oliver.
I want.
But I mean, he was like, there's different disses at the same time. There's like his one's more like Pusha T's more storytelling because he was telling us about like obviously 40s illnesses and like him having a kid. So I mean, like there's different, like you were saying before off air, like you were saying how there's different disses. So
Yeah.
but
I
it's
was
a
basically
preference,
saying that,
really.
yeah, I prefer like you're either wilding out like Tupac on Hit 'Em Up or what was it? You're coming with the bars with like Nas on Ether. But
Yeah.
I don't
Best
think
two
this.
disses ever.
Yeah, I don't think this did either.
I mean, yeah, because he went. I thought like he went the storytelling route, but I still feel like it's a solid diss.
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still better than like most shit that's out there.
Yeah.
But in terms of what we're expecting
Yeah.
from this and what I'm expecting of Push, because don't get me wrong, like I'm
Especially
Sweet
now in this,
Serenade and
like,
Nostalgia, and these are some of my favorite
Yeah.
tracks. But like, yeah,
It didn't really hit the elite
didn't-
level.
it didn't
especially
hit the
now
elite
when
didn't
like most of
deliver
these
for me.
dishes are like sort of like
Listen to Jada
dictate-
Smith, though, innit?
dictated by
Dirty
like the
dishes.
what's dictated by like the media and how like everyone sort of views it and like what the timeline's saying like
The TL determines the winner of
like
of
yeah
these
It does.
it does, which is unfair because like you could have someone with lyrical talent and if they have a fan base, like I always said this, I was having a chat with one of my friends and we were like, if Pusha T does come out with the bars, Drake will still win the battle because everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah,
That's
because
sad.
like I think it's when Drake was with Meek Mill, like obviously Drake
Yeah,
finished him,
he-
but
yeah.
even if Drake hadn't finished him, they would have been like Drake won,
Yeah, it's
like,
just more appealing.
but that's
Do you
because
know
of the
what?
fan base. Purely.
Yeah, you're right,
Yeah,
you're
it's
right, right.
popularity.
But I think more so now, you know. Back then when it was Meek Mills, it was more chance of people siding with Meek. But now
Yeah.
Drake's just gone so clear.
Yeah, but like
And
this
done
is
so much
this is
that-
all the work Drake's done. He's
This- of
built it
course.
up from these things, and
You get your
I mean,
fans to love you, and,
yeah.
and that's how you do it.
You know, it's sad though, because how are you gonna get slapped up like that and you can't really do anything about it by a guy that really isn't as lyrically good as
Yeah.
you? Like, you know,
Okay,
everyone
you
knows.
say
I
that,
find
yeah,
it
but then
interesting.
the only real difference here is like if someone didn't write Drake's bars on Duppy.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's the
ask
only
you because
for me.
you're like an artist, and
Right.
from my understanding, like isn't like rapping and music like quite a collaborative thing. Obviously, it's
Yeah,
individual,
exactly.
but like you're gonna have like people like the guys in the studio that are like contributing.
Mm.
So I was finding it like interesting. Why is everyone particularly like picking up on Drake being like having a ghostwriter? Like you've got Cardi going against him. You've got Meek Mill mentioning it. You've got
Everyone, basically,
you've
the
got
whole
Kendrick.
thing.
You've got
I'm-
all these guys putting subliminals directed at Drake. So why?
I don't
There
know.
must be something fishy, but like
Because he's done it
Yeah.
more than once.
yeah,
Yeah,
something
but
fishy.
not even
Nah,
that,
do
because
you know what
with labels and stuff like that, you have the producer, you have the artist, but then you have a songwriter
Yeah.
as well. Most of Beyonce's things she didn't write. Ed
Yeah.
Sheeran wrote
Rihanna
it.
as
Yeah.
well.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know why it's that, like, I think maybe it's because it's rap and there's a whole
Just the
culture
DB,
around
yeah.
you
Just
write
put it
your
out there.
bars
Yeah.
if it's rap. And
Yeah.
if you don't write your bars, don't tell people that you write your bars.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I remember in an interview, someone, I think Kendrick was recording with Eminem, and
Yeah.
Eminem told him to leave his phone
Yeah,
outside just to see if
yeah,
he wrote it,
yeah.
right?
Eminem tested him. I was
And,
thinking like,
and
yo,
it's the whole thing, even like back in the day when you see these freestyles, but Drake's got his phone, and he's like freestyling with the phone,
Yeah.
but no one else is freestyling with the phone.
Yeah.
And it's this whole thing like, oh, Drake can't really write.
Yeah.
That's where it's coming, because I think there's
Yeah.
this whole thing people said where people think that Drake can't write his own bars,
Yeah.
which is obviously not true.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to go at him
Yeah.
for having a ghostwriter.
True. you've
Yeah.
got a
It's
point.
been
But
weakened.
I think the thing is,
Kanye's
because
got bare
the difference between
writers, yeah.
rappers and singers, and what we expect is rappers, they're selling us a story, selling us
Yeah,
a dream.
yeah.
And
They're
if it's
selling
not
us
really
their
your
story.
story,
Yeah.
their story. It's not really your story. If someone else
Exactly.
wrote it, then it's not really authentic anymore, is it?
Exactly.
I think
So-
as well, yeah, that we don't know too much about Drake. So I feel like that's the only thing they could talk about. Like when they actually mention Drake, because he's actually very private and he's always good
It's
in
just
the
a big-
public
it's just a
eye. He
big
never
grassy
does
thing, innit?
anything like, you know how rappers always mess up because they're just rappers. They have money. They just do dumb,
dumb shit.
Yeah, they're just like Drake never does anything.
I think the biggest, again, going back
He's
to
got
your
a clean
question.
cut image.
Yeah, I've gone back to your question, Alex. I think the thing is, yeah, is that the big difference is that you do have other artists that are out there, like for example Kanye West,
Yeah.
Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
who like
Don't
who
claim.
don't
Not
write
claim.
like they're known, but
But-
they're still like regarded as one of the best in the game because they're producers, because this, and plus they don't they're not as like they don't claim to be like those
Yeah.
lyrical geniuses.
Yeah.
The problem here with Drake is that he's always backed himself talent-wise, but
said-
then we hear entire reference tracks,
Yeah.
like in almost word for word,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's thinking, and then you people like right,
Like-
and then going back to your freestyling thing about the phone,
Mm.
it's like Roden is like he's
Can't
not,
do it.
maybe he's not as talented as we think he is,
Yeah.
and but
If you notice, he's always been attacked by people, well, in the past that like really respect bars,
Yeah,
And,
they
like,
always like quite lyrical,
like
Yeah.
exactly.
lyrical artists.
yeah,
With Cardi, I mean, I can't like. I mean, Cardi B's wavy. Like,
Yeah.
I love Cardi B, but I feel
she
like
don't write her stuff though.
yeah, I feel like definitely most of the stuff on Invasion Privacy wasn't written by her.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah, so
I don't
feel
think it
like,
was.
aside from her, because I
But
know Meek Mill
again-
writes this stuff,
Yeah.
but
But the thing is, she's a very new artist.
exactly.
But it doesn't matter though. I mean, if you're new or old, because like for example, an older artist, going back to Kanye West again, he's got like 30 writers on the track all day.
Yeah, he'll
Like,
have like.
but they're
10,000.
all credited. But like, it's like again, it's going back to the whole thing about rap being about this is the story I'm selling, and it's about me, and it's personal, and it's mine. You understand?
But
And then
Kanye was still already established by then.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Is
But all
because he
day.
can like but that's what I'm trying to tell you is that Kanye West will tell you, right? This is a story
Yeah.
that is written and that I'm
Yeah.
performing. But
Yeah.
Drake is saying this is my
This
story,
is my
Yeah.
story.
and that's the difference here.
Selling the dream and people.
But you can't say that Drake doesn't know how to make music.
Oh, no,
his
no,
discography
Drake-
is mad.
Drake,
No.
Drake is
The
amazing.
He
kid
knows
has
how to
hits.
make music.
The kid
100%.
has
It's mad.
hits. I remember, like Oliver, did you go to a Drake show one time?
Yeah, I've been to Drake.
And you said it was like 2 hours, and
Yeah.
he just hits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, he's got hits obviously, but I I don't really, because music sounds the same nowadays. So like with this ghostwriting stuff, yeah, it's like you see designers sounding exactly like Future. You see songs all have the same melodies, same trap beats. It's like, can we really?
That's about
Like-
the audience though.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna find
Another
different
thing
music,
they
you have to
come
go
at
looking
Drake
for
is
it.
like biting the flow, like obviously
X.
go back
Everybody
to the
bites
X.
everybody's flow.
Yeah. But
Like,
it's cold.
but it's
so-
everything.
Everybody
It's
bites
cold.
everybody's flow. though.
Yeah,
thing is,
that's
right?
true.
Like even J. Cole was he said people were biting his flow, but he was biting flows.
Yeah.
I think it's KOD actually. He bit someone's flow.
But don't you
Well,
think we
saying
have
he's someone
to
biting
like?
his flow.
Don't
And
you
I was
think
like,
we have
don't
to?
even play, man? Someone bit someone's flow.
Yeah,
and
go
that.
on, Oliver. Go.
Don't you think we have to kind of praise like? Because if you listen to OVO Sound Radio, they listen to music from all over the world.
Yeah, they
like,
really do.
So you actually have to give it up to them. Like they actually music heads. Like they study music. Like regardless of what genre it is.
Yeah.
Like they actually study it. So I kind of like it's his work ethic at the same time. Like I know we're saying he ghostwrites, he copies people's flow, but not a lot of people go out their way to listen to different
Yeah.
music,
Exactly.
And
come
that's
up
the
with
thing that's
different
so bad
sounds.
with the culture of auto criticism, because I mean, if he's really doing the research,
Yeah, then
Why
how
can't
can
he
you
find his
how
own
can you
sound
criticize
from the
him for that?
research?
So
Exactly.
I'm
But it's
sure
never
there's other
intentional.
artists who listen to a wide range of music, but we just don't know it.
It's never- I don't think
that's
it's
true,
ever
but
intentional.
it
Or it
doesn't
doesn't
really
work.
show
I've
in their
seen
music
Drake,
at the same
Drake
time.
saying mad thing and like who gassed you up. I'm like, yeah, this
Like,
guy
put it so
loves
he made
culture.
the song Blem.
Begging.
Like, what hip hop artist would have done that?
Yeah, that's true.
Who would have done that? And he didn't
He-
even use it in the right context, to be honest.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah.
big man
So-
thing. I asked that question as soon as the song came out. What's he talking about?
He didn't.
Yeah, I was-
So he
I don't know what
took
he's on
in the
about.
culture and was
Everyone
like,
on-
this is cool, this is hot.
Everyone on Genius, and he still didn't explain anything. Like I was
No.
thinking, like no one knows what he's talking about.
that was like,
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a bloody great
I'm
song.
Blem
innit?
for real.
Real.
Like he's even shouting out Lowski these days. Like he's commenting
Yeah.
under Lowski. Like that just shows how like in tune he is with music. Obviously, to copy them is a bit like if you're not giving them praise or like after a while when they die off, you're still not in contact. Then that's another issue. But like the fact that he's bringing them to light at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like
yeah, you have
he's
to give
Extreme,
him
you gotta
credit.
give
for
him
No,
that.
I definitely
Yeah.
gets with that. Oli,
No one else
I
is doing
definitely
it like
gets
that.
with that. But other artists definitely look at other music from different countries, but they just say, that's not my sound, that's not me, I'm going to follow what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Drake's like,
Yeah.
I'm so big now, maybe he's bored, or maybe he's just like, I've got to keep relevant, so I'm just going to keep reinventing the wheel and using influences from other artists from different parts of the world, which is one, good, but which is two, if the other artist doesn't stay successful, he's taken what they've had and just ran with it, and then everyone is praising Drake for it when they just a runners-up medal award. And
yeah.
if you put it that way, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
But,
I get you.
and he's a prime example of like that. If you think about it, if you put something in people's ears so much and you make them like it, it doesn't even have to be that creative. So like, which brings us to the conversation of automated music and automated A&R, because our music will be churned out by machines in the next like 50 years.
Nah,
It will, man. Drake's an example of that.
nah, man.
Literally.
You can never.
He has
that-
his own sense of creativity, yeah, but I guarantee you, most music will be produced by computers. Not guaranteed, so let me take that back.
As in like artificial intelligence driven.
Yeah,
No way,
Nah,
bro.
no,
No
in the
way.
next 50 years,
Nah,
that's a
no.
long time.
No way.
Like-
No, deep.
No.
What you're saying is, yeah.
They won't
that
need a
computers
producer.
have no. Listen. Computers have to go from where they are now
Yeah,
to a point like as evolved creatively as a human being, as in terms of being able to think of original concepts and then execute. Do you know how
And if
big
we're
of a
having
leap that
computers
is?
think like that, what are these
No, I definitely
computers
think they
gonna
will.
do
They'll
to
just-
us?
They
Like,
just sample from many different tracks in terms of production. I'm not saying
I feel like you won't need them to do that because humans already do that sort of already.
yeah, but they can do it quicker. It takes a while to produce a beat.
But
It's like,
it's
no,
all-
okay, you
but-
produce in 2 hours, or in 2 days you can make a beat.
But I feel like
that creativity is part of the process.
No, it is creative, the process, but I'm saying because of the
I
model
mean
of
this whole
business.
like
I don't want it to
machinery-
happen.
Yeah,
bro.
I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it to
Can
happen.
I
It's
ask you a
not that I
question?
don't want it to
Kofi?
happen. I just
Can
don't
ask
think
you-
it's
can I ask-
feasible.
But like if you're saying that, but there's like SoundCloud and like Apple Music now. You don't actually have to like go through like labels. So who
Like
who's
who
gonna
benefits
own?
off that basically?
Yeah, so who's gonna own these like automated devices to create music? Is it gonna be the labels?
That question I can't answer.
And
But
I think another
I
point is
reckon it would be people who own the labels and studios.
as well is that like art is essentially storytelling, and what story is a computer gonna tell you?
I'm just saying that
I
the
just
computer is
started
likely
up
to
and
produce the
reading.
beat.
Like,
There will still be
I got a virus.
a lot of producers will
Man
be
crashed
still
and
be
came
rappers
back.
who are-
a lot of producers talk about like what they were doing on the day, like, oh, I saw this and this kind of inspired
You're
me
not
to
hearing
do
my
all
point,
this
man. You're not hearing my
sort
point.
of like
You're not hearing my point.
summary sort of thing vibe, and that's you're not gonna have that with a computer. It's just gonna be
No,
like,
but like
But you
like
chilling.
Kofi, explain it though, because I
I
want to.
didn't say they're going to be
My head's
rapping. I
spun
said
as
they're
well.
going to be
No,
producing a
but
beat,
even with
and they're going to draw influences from other beats that have been successful.
even
This will
with
be
even with
computerized.
beats though, like
Okay.
I hear
like
you.
these people are like having day-to-day lives, and they're saying, oh, let me make a dark sounding beat because I had a like this sort
Yeah, I
of day and
remember I was
stuff like
watching
that.
because
It's
I
not
watch a
gonna-
lot of
Yeah.
you know how producers make their shit, yeah. And there was one and a Big Boy, yeah, the Big Boy. He made the Gucci Gang beat,
Yeah.
and then that one of his boys that I followed on from there, and he was telling me, oh, he literally had a dream about Angel Sound, and then woke up and then just literally just made a beat, and it was fire.
Oh, that was Jaden Smith.
Yeah, that's the
Fallen,
one. Yeah, I
Fallen,
was,
yeah.
you know, just click on suggested videos, and I found that. I was thinking
yeah.
like, yo, like
Yeah.
that's
I feel
mad.
like
Yeah,
the
you
reason-
can't get rid of that human interaction.
I feel like the reason that won't happen is because the respect, like the process, like the chain from like a stimulus, like having a producer make a beat, then that going to the artist, that going to publishing, then going to whatever, then the steps like that. You can't knock one out and replace it without humans like that.
I
mean,
think
It's gonna happen.
in Kobe's defense though, I think the only real way that this happens is if like you get like a computer that's automated making beats and then just uploads like 1,000 or 10,000 to YouTube, and then all these amateur rappers just start spitting on it.
That's what will happen as well.
But you know what?
Yeah,
that
but
would
no one
just
makes
make
money off that,
That'll
so
make
it's
That's
not
the
what will happen,
incentivized
but
to
they'll
make
do
it.
it for
so
smaller
much.
artists, and they'll sit. But for ones that they don't want to invest the time of pay a producer
Maybe
money
so.
to produce a smaller artist beat.
Yeah,
Maybe
deep
so.
as
So
well,
they
these
can-
producers are superstars.
It'll be a
man.
cost effect mechanism.
But yeah, while that may be true,
It will
that
though.
would, it would
because
just make the
you have the
quality of
device
music
already.
go down so much. Though.
No, it will. That's what I'm saying. That the
It's
quality
already
of
happened
music
It's already
will
happening.
decrease. Exactly on trend.
Yeah.
It will decrease because the mind of the consumer is, oh, we can just consume anything that we're hyped that makes us that we like. They can control what we like right now.
Can I ask you guys a sorry?
But that's just
You just
one
go
way
back
to look
Pusha
at
T.
it.
No, it's you know how like beats are ridiculous nowadays, right? So it's
In
like
what way? As
so
in, like,
it's
they're
like-
shit or they're good?
no, they're great, like they're fantastic, like
Yeah.
because there's the technology is mad and like you could get like drums and I don't really know too much, but I
Yeah,
feel
them
like
free
Yeah, the amount of
plugins.
stems, the amount of
Everything
types of
could
drum
easily be done
patterns
on a
and
computer.
whatnot.
But
and
I-
whatnot.
but I
The types
feel
of
like-
instruments you can get.
let's talk about Nice for What, for example.
Yeah.
Do you think it was more of the beat rather than Drake that made the song, or
Yeah,
was
100%
it?
for me.
So
Nah, I don't. I think
you-
it's
But
50-50.
he added a whole nother level of fire.
The video was very impactful. for it.
50-50, yeah.
You
I
think
think-
it was
I
50-50?
thought there was too many elements. The whole fact that it was a Lauryn Hill sample.
Yeah.
The whole fact that it was. I mean, like, no other artist really from rap.
Yeah.
I don't think would have been rated enough
To do what he did.
to do that.
Yeah.
Or to not have like a backlash. Because I immediately, firstly, I was like, no, don't take X Factor and do that.
Yeah.
That's what I thought straight
But
away. I was
it's
like,
been
how you
done
gonna
too
speed
many
it up?
times, though, isn't it?
Exactly. So I was like, how you gonna do that and mess it up like that? And
But-
then
It bangs.
yeah.
It bangs.
So this leads to my question of, don't you think producers need to be all right? We see Metro Boomin and Zaytoven and like, so don't you think producers should be like sometimes alongside the artists on the cover, or like actually
Or, like, get
with
more
the name, like
recognized and stuff
this
like
is
that.
mean-
Drake
No, yeah, of
and
course.
If
Murder
Producers
Murder
don't
Beats.
win any awards or
no,
anything.
but if if okay, from a business perspective,
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
it solely depends on whoever owns the product. And if Drake is the one who owns the product, and you know, then it's his.
You still get your bread though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, yeah, I get what you're saying, because for me, I think Noah's probably the best in the game right now.
Yeah,
And
Kanye as well.
yeah. But at the same time, it's like it's a thing of like, if you're the strict producers
Yeah.
though,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like if you're that guy making the beats, then everyone comes to you regardless. Like that you're known to the people who need to know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there was one producer, I can't remember, it was a couple months ago, but I remember he put a video saying like, why is there no Grammys for like producers? Why is there no
Yeah,
this? Is I think it's only like the BET Awards where a producer can
So what,
win
like,
something.
Beat
Like,
of the year award. Like beat of the year.
Not
award.
even
Yeah,
producer
like
of the
like
year,
producer of the year, but like
That'd be sick.
every like
I swear they do.
Can't lie, there was
they
a point
don't.
where DJ
No, it's
Russell
only
would've
like
won it, like,
very
3 times
few
in a row.
shows
Yeah.
like BET.
That guy had like 12 number ones.
But like
12 number ones in 6 months.
a producer can't really win a Grammy for a beat he made or his contributions to like an
Well,
album or
Well,
something.
if an artist wins a Grammy, then his name
Yeah, his name
Yeah,
is
his
on
name's
it.
on it.
his name will be there.
Yeah, it will
on
be
It'll
there,
like
but
made by
he's
this.
still
by-
But he's not
the
gonna have
awards,
his
he'll
soul
still get
Grammy. He's not
Nah,
gonna
they
drink
won't-
out
they
of the
won't get a
Grammy
soul
like you know
Grammy.
that
Yeah.
that sort of feeling.
But the
Like,
thing is, there's
that's
too
next
many
level.
of them.
There's too many of them, but they deserve
I
the
hear your point though.
recognition.
They do deserve the recognition
Yeah.
because they're a
That's
key
the
I
next
part
think they should do that.
of-
And like likewise with hip hop,
Um,
like I think they
a
should
musical
make
construct.
more awards for hip hop because hip hop's so different now. We've got
Yeah.
the little pubs now. We've got
Yeah, there's
the
some
mumble
genres.
raps. We've got the traditional
Did you-
lyrical
so, hey,
one. We've
You
got
watched the J. Cole
trap
Lil
one.
Pump interview.
Yeah, yeah, I had a,
Yeah, I
I had a
watched it
little
yesterday.
watch.
You had a little watch too. to be
Thoughts,
honest.
thoughts, thoughts.
While I was cooking.
I mean, do you know
While
what?
you was cooking.
Yeah,
I
I was
don't know,
that
listening
interview
to
just
it. I
proves
was
so
listening
much.
to it in the background.
Huh?
Big man thing.
That interview just proves so much to me. Like
Go on.
the whole of like what Drake was talking. Not Drake.
Cool.
J. Cole was talking about in 1985 that song, about him riding trends and him not knowing how to manage his money and not blowing it on things, just not
Did
thinking
bad
about the
know my house,
future.
though.
It literally, he was.
Played out in the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah,
was-
but
did,
you
did
got-
you think about this? No.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, yeah.
How did
His
the FJ
interview-
Cole think about? Oh, it was a
It's
trend.
like it was like, yeah, I was just doing this joke, but I don't really,
He's,
I don't really
but
hate
at the
you.
same time, you got to consider how old the guy is. Like at
Yeah,
17,
17.
you were completely different to what you are now.
Yeah,
so
so
if
he was-
imagine someone gave you a bunch of money, like of course you're gonna wild out. You're gonna smash a Rolls Royce because you've got it. Like that's why all these kid stars. Like if we
Really
take
just
for
smash a Rolls
for
Royce,
ex-
you know.
for example like the Disney Channel stars, like the
Aren't
kids,
they?
Oh,
Miley
man.
Cyrus, Raven. Even Orlando Bloom, that legend.
Orlando Bloom.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That guy is the goat.
But yeah, they all just turn out crazy because they've had money from a young age. So
A
it's
quick
like,
side note, did you see the video when he got out of jail?
Oh yeah, when he swapped, who was it? He swapped with a
One
pants
fan. One fan.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nah, that
I
was
was
definitely
looking. I was
staged. It had
like,
to be
what the
staged.
hell?
But yeah,
Come
no,
back to your
I agree.
point.
No, I agree
Yeah,
with that.
so
Like,
it's-
of course, he's young, innit?
Yeah.
And like J. Cole was saying, I was doing the same thing.
yeah.
But there's 14 years between them,
Mm.
and so
But times haven't really, the culture of when you get successful or you have that one-time success hasn't really changed, has it, that much?
except
In
it
using
happens
those
much
examples.
faster.
Yeah.
Except it happens much faster.
Yeah, of course.
Lil Pump blew up in 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
J.
It
Cole was out
happens
here
much
trying to grind, looking for that album.
Yeah,
And then he got the
it
money,
took
and then he
him
still went crazy.
exactly,
ages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So
while it takes longer,
He
he's still
made
gonna
the
do
trip
same thing.
to
So
New
So
York
I think it's
to
more of
make
a
it.
lack of education and culture on money.
Yeah, does that mean kids drop out now?
Yeah, but you have to deep like
The
what's going
internet
on,
as well.
Yeah, in the wider society
Yeah.
though,
No,
because
and- yeah, go on.
even looking at Lil Pump and he was talking about how he got kicked out for like smoking weed and then
Yeah, that's
he's like,
terrible.
nah, that's nothing, it's nothing.
He got kicked out twice.
Yes,
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
nothing.
Yo,
It's
what you-
nothing, man.
He got kicked out at 15 and then 17.
Yeah.
I'm like, alright, cool, I get it. To you, it's nothing, but like, I mean,
You've already
like,
talking
you-
about
you-
weed,
I mean,
like,
you
yeah,
know
just
better.
weed. I'm like, yo.
Nah, true. He should know better, and because his audience as well was like, yeah, you know, when Jay was like, "What are you doing? When you got kicked out, like, what were you doing at home?" He's like, "Yeah, just handling my shit, just rapping." I was like,
I think that for me, the biggest takeaway I had was
I was
that
like,
the
what?
interview just like the whole thing about he basically J. Cole called him stupid in 1985, and then
Yeah.
he spent the whole of the interview saying, "No, you're smart, you're
I
smart,
know
you're
that's
smart."
the
Yeah,
thing. That's the thing.
yeah.
I was thinking like,
I was like, yeah, man, this
nah.
guy,
Yeah, you're
No,
much
but he
smarter
did- no, but
than
he
than
did
what you
say
put up.
that
Like,
he wrote that song very early, after hearing what Lil Pump said about him, and then it was like later on that he like actually like called him and then kind of
Yeah.
spoke to him.
Yeah,
So
but
it was kind of out of context.
the point I'm making is that I didn't see it. Like in the interview, I don't see
How
how
he's clever.
what he identified as being
Clever.
particularly like
Yeah.
smart.
he's just having a good time. That's for me. That's it. He's just enjoying himself.
Mm.
There's
Can I-
nothing more complicated than that.
Can I ask you guys then? Do you feel like Tekashi's smart?
I don't even like
I
that
can't
guy,
take
so I'm
him
not gonna
seriously.
talk.
I think
You
no.
guys
I
can
think
talk.
I think Takeshi's more calculated in what he's doing than Lil Pump is. Lil Pump is just there fucking around and shit, but Takeshi knows what he's doing is getting a reaction, so he's just feeding into it.
When I
Yeah,
think of Tekashi,
I
I just
think
think
he's
about
just
those
taken
voiceovers.
50 Cent's game plan.
Basically, yeah, like he did it, so he got a reaction. He's like, I'm riding instead of roof falls off, boy.
100%.
Because that's how 50 Cent got into the
Yeah.
game. He just came at everyone.
Everyone
Basically,
said
Yeah.
I'm the best in the game.
best
Yeah,
He
like,
whatever-
he keeps on having this
Listen,
problem with the
he's-
what's it called?
Trippie
Red, and like they had the
It's
thing.
more than that.
Did you see them
More
go
than that.
live when
It's when they do the voiceover. Yeah, it's when they do the voiceover of them talking like Lil Pump. Like it's like you hear some
that
whiny
video
voice.
is
I was
hilarious.
creasing so much.
The thing is,
man.
listen, 6ix9ine, it's not even just Trippie Red that he needs to be worried about. At the Wild Store concert he was supposed to perform at, he didn't perform because he had risks of dying because of the other acts. I forgot who was actually there, but that don't like him, and that were actually there to set him up. And the guy from World Star was like, well, you know, these are my guys, so I'm gonna let them perform. And so his life was in a threat, and you saw that in the interview with Charlemagne, where he didn't perform because his life was in a threat. And he's how old is he now?
I don't keep up with him too.
Probably, yeah. He's probably like 20.
Quick Google.
I don't keep up
Quick
with him.
Google. He's probably like 23, 24.
I don't listen to his music.
I don't.
listen to Lil
He
Pump's
makes
music.
good
But
music.
No, he
if
does
I'm
not. He does not.
He-
But
He doesn't,
subject to
man.
opinion.
A lot of
I'm
my
gonna let you
friends
have your
think
opinion.
he
I think he makes good music.
I'm gonna let you have opinion in that.
A lot of my friends think he makes good music.
Yeah.
but
I think it's just shouting
I
down the
don't
mic.
really like. I heard it the other day on a night out. I was just like,
He's 20.
He's
He's
22.
22. He's 22.
I've seen
he's
people
not
like
that
there
young.
skanking. I was thinking, yo, this is a bit.
No, he's not that
It's a
young,
bit
and he's
mad,
making
not
music
that
like that.
How old is he?
He's 22.
That's our age, man.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm not
Easy,
giving.
I'm
not
older.
giving- Yeah, I'm not giving him the pass. Then pass card.
No, I'm not giving him a pass. And do you know what? He's so big and does not deserve to be this big. It just vexes me.
I make kudos.
But it's
And he
it's
just
all a
looks
preference,
ridiculous
really.
as well. He just looks
Music's
ridiculous.
looks so.
music's
stupid.
preference, so it's like
It's preference,
Yeah,
but
it's all preference.
he doesn't need
Wild
to have
ass
red hair.
No, his hair is wild. And then you have all
But there's
the
so
Tattoos
many
on his
people with
face.
wild hair. You can't really chat about.
Yeah,
Lil Yo had wild
hair's
Huh?
hair's something
Lil
else.
Yo had wild hair. Lil Pump had
No,
wild
Lil
hair.
Uzi,
no,
yeah,
they-
but not that
Kodak
wild.
had
No,
white hair. You
it's
see them in the sky.
wild.
yeah.
But you know what?
That's
they're-
a Florida
He
thing.
has
yeah,
the
I
wildest
read it.
skills.
Kodak and Lil.
When he's like,
and
I'm a
Lil
real
Uzi-
blood.
Sorry, Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Their traditional takes of natural hair, like they're just a bit edgy, like
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the red
Yeah.
locks, red twists.
Exactly.
Kodak Black with just really fat locks. You see that if you can go around to places and still see people with that.
Yeah, it's
I
Florida.
don't see anybody who looks like Lil Pump or Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Except Florida people.
Okay.
The artists from Florida are like that, like Oliver said.
Yeah,
Like
all
they're
those
trying to
South
have
from
pink
Florida.
hair and
Yeah.
this
And
and
that's
that.
their
innit?
what?
There's Zanny
Quintessential
rappers
to
and
them.
No, that's just their style, innit? Like
Yeah, that's
people,
yeah.
it's like like people like from areas of the world have, just bang dreadlocks or like just
Yeah,
always,
yeah.
or like the women are just bald shaven. Like
Yeah.
it's just in Florida, they like having pink hair in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But with
no,
6ix9ine,
it's more
they
the
always
Kodak
call
hair
him out.
and the gold
And the
teeth.
gold and the-
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
the.
the
I
grills.
I'm not too sure about the colors in the hair, but I know the actual Kodak hair is like a Florida thing, and everyone's got gold in their mouth in Florida and stuff like that. Like so.
I need to go
No,
Florida.
with 6ix9ine, they always call him out on the whole blood crip
he
sort
used
of
to be-
Yeah, because he's
association.
backing
Did
it.
you
and
see?
he
Did you
said
see what the game was saying?
Game
See
wanted
the-
to fuck
Yeah,
him
Game
up.
wanted
He's fueling it,
to-
sorry.
Game wanted to fuck him
Game
up.
wanted to.
Don't you feel like the game stretches it though? Like he's always trying to stay relevant. Like
Yeah,
he
he always gets
I'm
himself
a-
But I
involved
think at
with
that
someone,
age
but-
though, like people like are always trying to be like that anyway. Like even like I feel like Snoop Dogg is another example.
Oh,
like,
let's not talk.
and his reaction videos, like I like, alright, cool, I get it, they're funny. and
That's
shit.
Uncle Snoop, man.
It's like
Snoop
it's
Lion.
hard to get up there, but it's so easy to just drop off.
Yeah, it's
so
hard to
easy
stay
drop
relevant.
off. It's so easy to drop off.
Yeah,
It's hard to stay
Yeah, he
relevant.
quite
Exactly.
recently was talking about the whole Nas and Tupac conversation actually.
Who?
Snoop Dogg actually.
What's he saying?
He was saying, I think something like there was a time when Tupac was like really about it, and then like Nas went to him, is like, yo man, I'm not really trying to beef you, and then like Tupac was like, yeah, I've got a track coming at you, Jay-Z, Biggie, all of them like New York guys, and like Nas like, nah, I don't want it. These times Nas had like 100 shooters with him. Nas, he's like, nah, Pac, I love you, man. Like, I don't want no beef thing. Like all of this stuff. Like, so he was just like putting the lowdown on like their last conversation.
Oh yeah.
I
quite
can't lie, it's a
interesting.
bit suspect about Snoop, you know, on the whole. If you're into conspiracy and that, on the whole death
Whole
Pac.
thing. Yeah.
I don't think he had any involvement, but it's just a bit suspect on his family and who was involved and how he goes from there. But you know, Snoop Dogg has stayed relevant, even though he's
He
see
deserves
one
to be relevant.
compare the market commercials, you know, because he's broke, he's got to pay bills. But
Tupac was like a very interesting character, man. He
But
was.
again, if you're comparing music from then till now, is that the music Tupac was making again is what is considered real music. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
we
no,
weren't
yeah,
comparing.
but it's like he'd go from being conscious to
He's mad bipolar.
yeah, like to
He's
to
mad
just
bipolar.
f
Yeah.
these hoes,
Yeah,
bitches.
exactly.
Like, it's
So
like
it's whenever they always do that meme of like, you should love a woman like fuck.
yeah.
That one's always.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
the one.
I think that Tupac was just naturally a calm, chilled guy, but he had to put on the bravado and the look just to fit in.
No, I just
The
think
fuck?
Tupac fully believed everything he felt at that particular moment in time.
Yeah.
So like when he felt a certain type of way, he felt it all the way.
Yeah.
And
But-
then
You would just
I
go
don't
from
think
one
he was
extreme
a
to
through and
another.
through.
Like,
Yeah, I don't think he was a through and through thug though, like the others. He wasn't.
he was, man.
In those, he wasn't, man.
I think
He
if you
At
push
heart,
him, he
weren't.
was on it.
If you pushed
Yeah,
him, he was on it.
he
And in
was.
certain environments, but
I mean, he never jumped on the blood and crip thing, but I know like from early, like he's always been in and around that life. Like you know,
don't mean he was a part of it, though. It
bro.
wasn't
I mean,
proven
again,
that
I
he
don't know the specific details, but he got jailed for like. Okay, he didn't get jailed, but basically they charged him for his boys basically murdering another guy in a park. They saw him and it was an on-site thing. It's not even a thing of like, yo, like this, you know what you're saying, it was straight on site. And from all the stories I've heard about Tupac, he's always been like that. Just if it's a ting, it's a ting.
Yeah.
That's it. Like there's no talking. You know when he was in jail, yeah, after getting shot, and then he's trying to find out who did it, and then Biggie drops the track, who shot you. There's no question in his mind after
that
that.
was so disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying. There's no in Tupac's mind. There's no other question but Biggie. That's why he come out and start wiring out on Biggie. That's what I'm saying. Like Tupac fully believed everything he was about at that particular moment in time, and it's a thing of like, right, he may not have been like a Crip or a Blood or like a gangster like in that respect, but when it comes to the thugging shit, or when it comes to like, you know, when I see you, like I think he was really on it. He was really on it.
He was on it because he had to be though.
What do you mean?
Like he had to be in order to look the part, be the part, and battle with Biggie and that.
But that's the thing. He didn't have to be the part. He could have just chilled. Like he could have said.
man,
He
he
could have
was
said
too
to
big.
Nas. He could have said to Nas, you know what? You're right. Let's not do this no more. I'm cool.
He was too big. He got lost up in it.
I agree with Kofi because
He got lost up in it, man. He was a soft man, not soft man. At heart,
Back
but
in
he
the
was a
day,
general guy.
to get on at first, you needed the streets. Like you needed
You need them behind
you
you.
need them behind you first, and then the label jumps on. Because back in the day, there was no internet, so you needed to be like well known in the like you needed to hand out your CD and talk that.
Jimmy Iovine did the madness for him though.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like Jimmy Iovine was the guy who ran Interscope and
Yeah.
he signed Tupac. But here's the thing though, like you know he got signed off doing the thug shit, yeah. And then he became super conscious.
Yeah,
He could have stayed on that lane.
yeah. That's
But he
true.
didn't.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
money wasn't there though. Well, for him it wasn't.
So what you're
there.
saying is that he's a thug because of the money.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like that's what I'm trying to say. He wasn't a thug, but he was really.
Because
That's
of
who
the
he
energy
was.
he received, he was
I'm
better
just-
received well as a thug.
Fake it till you make it.
So no, but the point you're trying to say that he wasn't really about it.
I'm saying he wasn't, but he forced himself to.
I very like.
But if you know, you don't have to
There
prove
is
my point.
there is nobody that there's not a single interview that I can remember you said anything except that Tupac was about it.
I think he was just around Suge Knight, and everyone knows Suge Knight's just not right in the head. So
It's not right in the head, bad
Like,
influence.
So it's like he was around all of that, and then he had the backing of Suge Knight, who was like he's just a
Nutcase.
devil.
Nah, that
Like-
guy, I can't lie. That is the embodiment of like just.
Wait, so Kofi, who would you say is really
Yeah.
about it then?
That's it's rap, man. It's entertainment.
But that's
at the end
No,
of
it's
no,
kiddie
but
rap right
the,
now.
no, but the
Yes.
difference is now you can say that, right? That you know what, people are running their mouth, but I don't think the same was true back in the early 90s.
Okay,
not-
just
not
Mobb
those
Deep,
days.
NWA. They're guys that I've known through and through that I can look at and be like, yeah, they were about it. They lived that life.
Are we talking about back in the day then?
Yeah, I'm talking back
Alright,
in the
fair,
day.
cool.
For now, I can't
Because-
really give a good example
you-
because
'cause
anyone can
now,
put on anything
no
right
one's
now.
on it.
Yeah.
Other than if
Nobody.
you're talking about guys like Nipsey Hussle and guys like you know
I'm saying
Mowgli and
No, you get the money. You're
but
too rich to get into a fight.
they can
Unless
always
you're the game.
yeah the
I think game's on
the
it,
game
yeah.
stayed
Nah,
real.
I know
He
for a
stayed real.
fact he's on it, but he recorded himself beating someone up.
Wow,
Didn't know that.
wow.
I know that.
He's on it, and he wants you
yeah,
to
but
know.
but do we rate that? Because he needs to kind of grow up.
Nah,
he
I
has
don't.
kids.
I don't rate it. I don't rate
Like
it.
he has
Nah,
kids.
yeah,
Man
like,
tried to move to India
Exactly.
Love, and she was
like you need to grow up. You need to move out.
Just to be fit.
India Love.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember.
they were lips
I
in the
remember
park,
that.
fam.
Yeah, he
Have you
caught
not seen that
her
picture?
He caught her
He
young.
tried to do R. Kelly on Leo.
Ah,
Oh,
Kelly. Damn.
Nah,
you know
but
R. Kelly.
I can't listen to his music.
I'm seeing
I
your.
mean, I
Wait,
can.
wait. So you telling me? So who still listens to R. Kelly here? Let me just.
I'll back it.
it's-
I'll listen
That's
to
R.
like
Kelly,
the whole
that's
chat
chills.
on the closet
Listen,
thing is so funny.
everyone in this room.
Everyone in this room listens to R. Kelly, right? And you still listen to XXXTentacion, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
If you
I
did
know
before,
you,
if
I
you
never
did
listened to
before.
him.
I never
I never listened to him.
Exact. I'm
Is it?
telling you, as an
He is
Would
artist,
you not
He's
listen to
a
him
musical
because of what's been?
He's
So
so good.
smart.
I-
Yeah, he's
Exact.
so
I've
good
just
at
never
music.
listened.
Zach, as an
I've
artist,
listened
yeah,
to his music.
just trust
Just
me.
go and listen to
Yeah,
him.
he's
You need to
so
go and
good
listen
at
to him.
music.
He-
Out of
he's
that
got heart.
SoundCloud generation,
He's got great
best.
musical
he's the
creativity.
one. He's
Actually,
the
no,
one
to be
out there.
fair,
The versatility of that guy is incredible.
Yeah.
Like incredible.
The only thing I hate about him, his songs are only 2 minutes long.
Yeah, he does very
SoundCloud
short
thing,
songs.
Yeah.
Like his first album was like 21 minutes.
But there was like good 15 tracks on there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's Benz.
I mean, I still listen to him, but
I love his first album actually.
what
Yeah,
they've done.
his first album was one of my favorites from like last year, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Even this one.
This one was good. Yeah.
I mean, what they've done though is wild. So it's deservedly that they've been removed from Spotify.
Wait.
Yeah.
What we on now?
Otherwise, it'd be on the playlist, innit?
X and R. Kelly, bro.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'd be on the
Wait,
playlist.
no. Just going on something more recent though. YouTube pulled a bag of drill rappers' music off.
TK
off-
got moved as well.
Yeah,
bro.
off the platform.
What? The drill?
Did you know the drill scene?
Yeah,
now?
yeah. So I saw that yesterday night actually.
Wait, is it UK drill?
Yeah,
drill,
UK
UK,
drill. Yeah.
So like YouTube was saying it's violent content. So they
Yeah, a lot of it got taken. I think it was
I think
one.
that's 30
I think
tracks
it was
or
one
something, 30
group
videos.
from London. I think a
South
drill
London.
group was 10, 11. I think they made a petition about it.
YouTube don't care about your little petition.
Yeah, they done a petition thing.
little
So.
boys over there, man. These was a big corporation. They don't care.
Yeah.
Nah, you know what? I don't really have a definite bad view on that because it's
Well,
their negative
the fact they
videos,
took it down.
and their violence,
Nah, deep it though.
but it's still art. So
No. Here's my thing. Yeah.
I
like, cool.
don't know how I feel.
Alright, there's
Yeah.
a difference between inciting violence, right, and telling, like basically just portraying what you perceive to be your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And cool, if YouTube feel like they were trying to incite violence,
Yeah.
that's one thing. But I don't like from what I've seen, like it's never really been a thing of like where you're calling your boys to go and ride out.
Yeah, they're
Together, like-
not inciting violence. It's just
But
the fact people
it's-
are easily
the point is
influenced.
though that they're sitting on that on the division like it's crazy like.
The thing with UK drill is you got to remember that some of the time it's actually the police that tells YouTube to take it down because of like the stuff they're saying and
But this,
like the
yeah, but this time
the
it was YouTube.
referencing
But
saying
this time
that-
it was YouTube. Like,
Oh,
But
what,
they've
are
who
got-
you-
do you
like,
think
is-
would
are you-
push
one
YouTube
drill
to do
song
it?
about
Well,
Are
that
you
time,
100% sure that the like there was no legal like police didn't tell them? Because a lot of like videos that have been put up before by by people that do drill or gang related music has been taken down by police. So
yeah, I know what you're saying is right. Yeah,
so
but
it's a thing where I don't know if YouTube per se.
this time, it specifically YouTube put out a statement saying this is why we've done it,
Oh, okay.
and because they're doing the same thing as all the other media platforms now, like Spotify, saying that we're gonna pursue this policy of anti-violence, whatever it is they're
Just
doing.
policing people's art, to be honest, though.
And I get what they're saying in principle. It's just a thing of you got like, as you said, art is a very like is very unique in the fact that you could literally be telling your story, and it's a thing of like, if it's a thing of like you really did, again, modern day music is a bit suspect in terms of realism, but if you're really saying this is really what's going on in the community, and this is really what happened, then simply by you pulling it down doesn't make what happened vanish. Like it's still there. You can't pull the plug on real life. And it's a thing of that it will just come up again and again and again until that root cause is dealt with. The fact that YouTube and Spotify are doing what they're doing is not really solving anything.
Yes.
It's just a statement
Just covering
for all these people who are just trying to be social justice warriors just to make them be happy and buy their shit.
It's pleasing the
of the day.
fake woke people.
Yeah, I can't lie to you.
Even
I
fake
feel-
work.
I
I
think
think
that's
there's
a
a
wider
wider
say that
agenda.
word.
I think
I
there's a
think
wider
I think they're
agenda
just
here.
pandering to like just to that basically.
And justice, corporate social responsibility, all that BS.
They don't want to get sued and stuff, man.
No,
And
but
that's
who's
it at
gonna
the end
sue
of the
them?
day.
Yeah.
Nah, they will. People bring a
gonna
class
sue.
action suit. You know they will do that.
On what? On the
On
indoctrination
violent,
of their
yeah,
children.
endorsing violent conduct or endorsing hate speech. Or
Everyone's
People-
trying to get
people do believe
claims
that
out of
drill
here.
is like drill is the cause.
Yeah,
So many like.
but people really
I
believe
think
that
it's
music
because of
causes violence.
the how widely available it is and how many people listen to it, how many different types of people listen to it.
You don't think music like incites you? Like, let's say you
Music
listen
does,
to
yeah,
a
influence
track,
people,
like
yeah.
you're sometimes you're just pumped for no reason. Like,
Nah, do you know what it is? Yeah, I view music in the same way that I view like, here's a good
Makes
example.
you feel a type of way.
No, here's a good example. Yeah, say like, alright, this might be a bad example, but bear with me, innit? So like, you might be in a relationship with somebody, yeah, but at the same time you got like low key feelings for someone else, and one night you get drunk and do some madness. Yeah, but no, this happens. Like you go out, you get drunk, you see them, and you end up doing the madness and cheating and shit. Yeah. Like you low key, you still had those intentions prior to getting drunk. What the thing is, I'm view music as is not. It's not as like people are basically saying that the music is acting as the alcohol in a situation where it's a gateway that allows people to do, to go and do shit. But let's be honest though, yeah, you may feel a certain type of way after listening to a song. Very different from going and actually doing it. Very different. And bearing in mind, they're not talking about doing something minor. They're talking about committing serious crimes. Murder,
I get you,
armed
but
robbery, and this and that.
I get you, but at the same time, you gotta. Maybe your mentality is strong, like you're mentally strong. Other people, they follow. That's why social media is so big right now. Like people just follow other people. So if your favorite rapper is saying, "Oh, I'm going to ching this guy,"
but the thing is, no rapper's saying that. They're saying like was on the block and this.
No,
and that.
but I'm saying, I was just using an example. I wasn't saying like.
Yeah, but no, but I guess
like,
it.
Do you get like let's say, I don't want to put out names, but let's say someone saying buy a house, like certain people would be like, nah, because that's not exciting or whatever, but so I'm not going to do that, or I don't know what to say. Like
I know
violence. Wait, are you trying to say that violence in the scare of thrills sell?
Yeah,
and make people feel a certain type of way.
Violence sells.
No, listen, no.
I'm trying to understand his point. I'm trying to say, I'm not saying it's right. He's trying to say rapping about buying a house is boring, but it doesn't depend on how you do it.
No, but I think it sells because most of these guys, yeah, that you see in these videos, they're always like with like in some penthouse apartment with like bare P. And it's the glamour they're getting, and they're thinking, this is easily accessible for me to do this as well.
I think you man are looking at it too small scale.
I'm not even looking at it. I'm just picking up on what they're saying and just trying to break it down. But go on, carry on.
So first of all, the people who buy music are the middle class. Like, people like.
There you go.
People in ends. Yeah. Like, let's be honest, we're not really looking to pay for anything.
They're not.
Right.
I mean,
so wait. So the whole thing about violence sells to the middle class.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's one thing. Now, here's the other point I'm trying to make is that cool. Yeah. You got these songs, right, that are maybe violent or have certain type of content that make you feel some certain type of way, right? The only people who are acting on that content are the people who are in deprived communities, not the people who are buying the music. So clearly music doesn't incite the people who are buying the music to do violent shit. Yeah. So there must be another variable in there that is the root cause of what it is. And that's why I'm saying the music isn't what's causing these violent acts. No matter what people might say about how it's true that I can listen to a song and feel angry or I feel sad or I feel this or I feel that, but feeling the type of way and actually going to do it, the action requires more than just listening to, no matter even if it's all that you listen to, you can listen to the same music all day every day, but it's not gonna make you do something unless you feel that it's your only other option or there's no other alternative. And I think that's what the situation is.
Incentive.
Yeah, so it's not the only one, but it's definitely an incentive. It's that you cannot say it's not, because
I would say
what you read, what you listen to, what you see, subconsciously you take in.
Of course.
So you can't say.
Of course. And again, I don't disagree with that.
For them.
Because, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I meant initially.
It's not necessarily. No doubt.
Yeah, it's just the fact when they see this and they see this glamour and they realize this is an easy, it's something that's close to them. They can do it themselves. That's what draws them.
They're relating.
Not that it necessarily tells them I'm
gonna
go do that.
who are the ones?
The ones that are listening to it, not the ones that buy it, because most of it's streaming, most of it's YouTube.
Nah.
You can get most of these services for pretty cheap now.
It's not. That's what I'm trying to trying to get. You think about it. The reason why Stormzy is as big as he is because middle class white kids in Bury are buying his music.
Yeah.
In where, sorry?
Bury. What?
The hell of
Great
I've
great
seen a storm.
Yeah,
myself,
no, but
man,
these men aren't. But these men aren't on.
They're not
thug
they're
life.
They're not on
you
that
understand?
life,
But what they like is the energy.
Yeah,
It's
but-
like,
yeah,
I'm
but
not
you're
gonna feel like
you're
a bad
missing-
boy.
you're missing what I'm saying.
Stormzy, and Stormzy's not like
A driller.
driller. Drill. He's not a drill artist. He's an
never
MC.
did
He's a
But
grime artist.
He's
But
got a point, though. That's where it began. It started.
even
The trend,
questionable if
the
he's
train.
proper grime as
yeah,
well.
that's true.
Again-
But the thing is, exactly, Alex. To you, chill. Sorry, it's not proper grime, is it?
No,
But to the average middle class consumer, it's different to what rap they're hearing or hip hop they're
Yeah.
hearing, and it's sold as
they
grime
want the energy. They
by
want
the
that.
industry, and they're
Where
like,
do you know me
they're
from?
like,
that.
oh yeah, I'm really into this.
Yeah.
And then they see it as grime and they take it for that as value. Grime has been labeled. A lot of types of music have been labeled as grime.
Yeah.
Like you can probably ask one of these kids and they'll say that.
Notes is grime. They'll say
Notes
is
they'll
not
say
grime.
he's grime.
No, whoever says
They'll
those
say
grime
Jay
needs
Huss is
to
grime.
get slapped.
Yeah.
But the
That's
point
I've
here's
heard
no
that
here's
before.
again going back to what I was saying. Yeah, these drill artists can go and tour right across the UK and be doing all these shows and
That's
shit.
where the main influence happens.
Hold
though.
on, man. Can be
Sorry,
doing all these
sorry.
shows and shit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
none of these places, right, are being targeted the way that we've been targeted in the inner cities, and they're trying to say that the music is what's causing these things. So if the music, right, if I apply music as being the primary cause, then surely these issues should be widespread because of the people who are consuming this music.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Lowski's about to have a concert, yeah?
Yeah.
Would you say tell me what you think the demographic
Where is the
of
concert though?
It's in
It's
London.
in London.
Well, then obviously it's gonna be London, man. So from his area
What?
because it's easy to get to. But I'm saying if like these man can do a festival show in Cornwall,
But that's not who their target audience is.
but these are the
Yeah.
people who are buying their shit.
No, because it's when it's drill
Nah,
music.
I don't
We're
think
talking
so.
when it's
I feel
drill
like I know what
music.
you're talking about.
It's literally like not London, but it's it's like inner city kids.
It's
I get-
urban.
I-
it's
no, I
not
get what
just
you're saying.
London. It's
But
urban.
Yeah,
I think you're
people
looking at it
who
the wrong
live
way around.
in
Urban-
cities.
It's
I think
not-
London, Birmingham,
Drill
Manchester.
music is
Yeah.
specifically just for inner city kids. Like it's urban, yeah.
Simple
urban
question:
stuff.
what came first, then the lifestyle or the music?
The lifestyle.
Lifestyle,
The
but
lifestyle came
at
first.
that concert, there's going to be more kids that will say, this is my reality, and that's why they're making the music, which is why it will be those inner city kids, right? They're going to be the ones that are going to be at that concert.
If
the-
they have the funds.
If they have the funds to be there, which probably they will,
Yeah.
because he's not going to sell it for better.
No,
But
not at the moment, no.
also, these middle class people that are buying the music, which I don't think, it's all on YouTube, so how can you buy it?
Yeah.
Like,
You
That's
stream-
why.
you
That's
talking
why.
about drill
Spotify is a
specific?
form of-
Yeah, drill
drill,
specific.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that's all
yeah.
on like
Drill
YouTube and
is-
stuff.
No,
That's
but
all
I'm
that's on
the
there.
reason. But if
Majority.
you think about it though, there was a point yeah where BBK was what drill music is now, and yet like
No, because what's your definition of drill? Because I would like.
no, but I'm talking about in terms of how it's been perceived.
Yeah, no, but
That's why-
there's a difference between grime and drill.
I know. I don't doubt it, but the point is, yeah, like there was a point where people were saying the same thing. There was a point people were saying the same thing about Stormzy. No, I get what you're saying about him not being really. His music is not like that, but you know, there was I remember he's got even a bar in it on a track about LBC are trying to backbone me about causing knife crime, and I was like, I got money now, but I'm gonna do a drive-by. He like, see what he like he straight up says like, yo, like, but there's always gonna be like this thing about you know, we need to prevent people from consume. When I say consuming, I mean literally listening to this certain type of music or watching these certain types of music videos because it causes violence. I'm saying it doesn't cause violence. The music happens because of the violence.
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
the chicken and egg sort of argument,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm saying it's the lifestyle came first and
Yeah.
then the music.
Do you think?
So sorry, just to finish off. So taking away the music doesn't take away.
Yeah, of course,
The lifestyle.
Of course. But
As long
it's
as the
an-
lifestyle's there, I think the music
yeah.
video as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, but it does, like some kids never thought about being a gangster, and then might have listened to a song.
Nah,
and
But them
man.
kids there, if that's happened,
You're-
them kids there,
they're
They're not really
but,
bad though. They're just
Yeah, but that happens.
I think certain
that,
kids
that
don't
actually
think-
happens.
Don't think about being a gangster until they watch The Godfather. Then they want to become a gangster.
It actually happens if they don't have
Can't
the
lie to you,
framework
watching that
or
Godfather
the
will make you want to
mindset
become.
otherwise to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, this
Corleone.
isn't my life. It's not for me.
So I got a question.
They're really impressionable. The problem is, it's younger kids listen to this
Yeah.
and how impressionable they're going to be and how
All right.
influential. they're
So because everyone's like a sponge, you can just like put things in, they'll absorb it, and they'll take it in. Do you think that you can now take drill, which is built off of this lifestyle that is negative,
it's really hard trap, yeah.
Driller.
and put Christian music over it, Christian bars over it? Because really, it's just a drill beat, and everyone associates that drill beat with negativity and all these bars about
You could, but I
doing
don't
this and
think it would
doing
have the
that.
same effect.
It would. Do you think?
It would take a while.
Oh, it's
It
not
would
a
take
one-man
a-
job,
a-
and it
a
would.
couple
Yeah, exactly. But
You could, but at the same time, we've seen in history with like horror movies and like world star hip hop fight videos and Spiff TV, like violence sells, right? So
It's a natural response.
it's a natural response. Like people,
fear.
yeah, like it's not even that. It's like what they don't. People go online and stuff to
It's
like
more attracted to controversy than.
yeah, not to like it's they want to see a fantasy or something they don't usually see in real like in normal life, like so it's like if you see like a guy on the high street saying praise the Lord and stuff, like they see that, but they don't see a guy every day on the high street getting knocked out or getting stabbed up, so they more likely to go to that because it's new and exciting to them, if that makes sense.
100%.
Did you see the I don't know if it's a video or if it's an actual song, but they were like these men with balaclavas in church doing a drill song.
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I
church.
saw
I was
that.
about
There's
to
a
even
whole
say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
So wait, was
But
it a
was
Christian
like, we ain't
song?
some
or was
normal
it
Christians.
Like
It was drill.
rap?
It was drill, but they were like trying to do Christian. They were like, we ain't some normal Christians. I was thinking,
I was like, wow.
But they got the whole balaclava.
yeah, they had the whole belly on.
As
and
if
But the
everything.
content of the music was
but
still.
the bars.
It was still drill. Yeah.
Do you
That's
think
funny.
it will be successful? Because that was my opinion. So do you think it could be successful?
You've already made the initial mistake of like conforming to like what's seen as like a threatening image,
Yeah,
and so
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
by like 80% of the public, and so
I think
kind of lost
anytime
both
anybody
the point
sees.
and the purpose.
Yeah, I think anytime
of,
anyone
like-
sees any sort of not even Christian but religious content, people immediately go
Exactly. Exactly.
right.
And so people are gonna think straight off the bat what makes them any different,
Yeah.
and be like, well, you associate the balaclavas with the drill, and you associate them with the drill
With the
music,
drill,
and so
yeah.
you put that, and then put Christian bars over it before even anyone could like think what they're saying. Then it'd be like
The
drill,
instant
it's drill.
responses from
Instant-
what they
instant
know,
response
from
is
what they subconsciously
impulse,
know.
right? So I feel like it would take a very long time and a wave of these artists, the same way that SoundCloud rappers are coming, a wave of them to start. But I don't feel like it's like a one group job or like a couple people, and it would take a long time.
I think because we already know drill as drill
Exactly.
and how it was birthed, that's not really gonna work.
Exactly.
It will have an impact, but
If I'm being totally honest, I think it can happen, but only in one condition or situation, and that's if suddenly Christian rappers got rich as fuck, and I mean like up. Because as soon
Yeah.
as people go where the money is,
Yeah,
so then you get all these SoundCloud rappers jumping on it
yeah,
and not conforming not because of like the religious values, but simply because of the financial rewards.
okay.
That's what I think anyway.
So people didn't do it. Not if if their intentions were anything to do with religion.
I mean,
But-
it would people would justify it to themselves why they're doing it in a myriad of ways
As like but on the
as
like
a
on the
second,
surface.
as secondary motives. But
Yeah.
in reality, their head was turned not by
the bars are Christian, but like
by the lifestyle.
yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what happened with these SoundCloud rappers, because they realized that making music isn't the reserve of the studio elites anymore. Like you can pull up a laptop, download a beat off
Yeah.
YouTube,
YouTube.
write
beats.
2 bars.
Yeah.
You don't have to make words no more. You can make sounds. Let's get it.
Yeah.
That's why I
And
say
then blow
that
up.
the quality of music's gone down.
Yeah. One of them things.
That's why I feel like the quality of music's gone down.
Yeah.
altogether.
So it's like, and on top of all of that is that you can do that, and within 2 years, you're sitting on a couch with J. Cole with your music being.
You know what?
You know the
You know what I
the
did?
biggest.
I feel like the reason music's gone down is because those
Too
aspects,
accessible.
Well, yeah, but the aspects of what made it, like, if I keep it to hip hop, the aspects of hip hop that define what made a good song. So like the production, the bars, the lyric, the production, the bars, flow, message, and then like maybe what happened, what like the impact it has afterwards. That mattered so much, and so you got this wave of crazy artists, lyrically, that had a message. So they had longevity because the message was still relevant.
Yeah.
But now you can have artists that would blow up really quickly because ain't no message. The bars are whack, the lyrics,
It's a vibe.
lyrics just turn up, and the production's wavy.
And
you can-
they just got good delivery
Exactly.
and a good
Exactly.
persona.
That's it.
Exactly. So
vibe.
what,
Got the source. They've
so
got
the
what people want,
aspects
looking
of what makes a good song, some of them had been dashed
Yeah,
away.
like most
And so as long
of
as you
them
have that, it's easy. Because before you had to have that as well. But half of these guys, like Lil Yachty, I can make a track that has a hard as beat and just say, yeah, if I want to do that, I'll do that.
He even said it
it's
like, like when Lil was like, yo, I can come on a beat for like 2 minutes and be like, yeah, and he was still bang. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Just
Yeah.
say 1-2 lines.
Just quickly,
Yeah.
from a personal perspective though, like, because obviously you make music now, innit? So what was it that got you into music in the beginning?
I'm not good at anything else, not gonna lie.
Nah, don't say that.
Nah, like I feel like
Hey, man, if it's the
fair
truth,
enough.
it's the truth,
What
innit?
got me to music first? I'm a pianist. So,
Okay.
So I'm like, I was like classically trained.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sure
so
you're good at other
jealous.
stuff. Is what I'm trying to say. Though.
Yeah,
so
but
jealous.
I'm not like
Passionate about
passionate.
that.
Alright, that's the word, right?
I was
And
just
so
stuck with my violin. And
What-
Big man taking that violin in primary school is the
so
one.
what kind of
I
did
hate
that? I made one song. I did a song over pound cake with like a
Okay.
couple friends, and
Yeah.
it was dead. Like 'cause
Your
we
first
didn't-
track always is though, isn't
it's
it?
always dead, right? Then I got into production, and I was like, oh snap, this can go somewhere. And then once I knew that.
Wait, so how did you go from like the pound cake freestyle to actually producing? Because
Fruity Loops.
yeah, no, because I can't lie to you. Because I got Fruity Loops, I had it on my laptop
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
a year and a half now, but I still struggle when I open it up.
Nah.
I feel like having the theory and being trained as a musician made it a
Yeah.
lot easier. But also, I've been doing it since like 14, and so
Second nature, basically.
I just like you keep wanting to try and get better and make something better. And as long as you get practice, like as you practice, it will get better and it will get better. And it eventually got to a point where I would start to make projects, and I finished them, and I'd be like, right, should I put this out or not? And then I wouldn't put it out because I feel like it wasn't representative of what I could do.
Yeah.
And so I'd be sitting on projects. And it's only up until now where
And
I
this
feel
is
like
you just doing it in your private time.
yeah,
the
exactly.
privacy of your
And
bedroom
then
and shit.
it became what I actually want to do as a career. So then I went to uni, which isn't necessarily like necessary for music, because you can blow up off like GRM and stuff. But if you want to have them connections, then that's why I went to
That's the way to
uni.
go.
Then you get to
Yeah,
learn
see
about
life
it
in a
more.
different way.
Exactly.
And stuff
And
like that.
I mean, I am surrounded by a bunch of like rock heads and like metal artists and stuff. But yeah, I didn't want to be in a place where I had to say, oh no, I don't have to do this. And so, from the pound cake thing to now, I guess I just wanted to like get better. Study it.
I hear that.
That's it.
I hear that. So where you at now?
I'm right now. I'm sitting on 3 projects,
Complete projects.
3
You
complete.
could drop them right
3
now
complete
and
albums.
you say they're finished. They're finished. album.
I've got 3 albums that are finished, and the 4th one, which is one I'm dropping now.
So you're moving like Ross, basically, just making bare projects.
My bare projects, and you just want to have like someone says,
Backlog.
what have you got? What have you got? I've got this. How you like that? I've got this. How you
It's
like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, dropped 2 songs, and then this like EP is like what I think is representative of me now. So yeah, where am I at now?
What's the name of the EP? Have you got a name yet?
Grounded.
Grounded.
It's not out.
Coming soon.
Yeah,
Obviously,
but
I
yeah,
contributed to
names,
the contributed to
Cover art
you
too.
guys.
You did my cover art for me.
You're gonna see them like on Genius with the
He's
little
with the
annotations
cover.
of this means this and that.
Obviously, if you want your cover art and videos, come pull out your boy
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Queue up nice. But I got an idea for a video for you, by the way. But anyway, keep me up after, isn't it?
Okay. Alright. Yeah.
Did anyone manage to get to the ASAP concert the other day? He did another thing like what Jay did and did a mad surprise concert.
No.
What day
Was it free?
Monday was it? Yeah, bank holiday. Put on his Insta and was like,
Yeah.
yo,
Who's that?
this was on Monday.
Was he in London?
Yeah,
He lives in London.
bro, have you not seen the Twitter video of him and
I have
him and
Twitter,
Skeppy
People don't know these things.
rapping on
Like, 'cause
on
it's-
Twitter?
they do mad
and they're
low key.
rapping this exact song that's playing in the background now.
have Twitter. Oh.
And they're like proper getting on. Yeah.
Oh, right.
He dropped on his Insta, said, come to XOY now to get tickets for Village Underground for a
XOY.
surprise concert. It was on Monday, bro. I couldn't
Wow.
make it because I had something to do. But
Well, I was here in Brighton, so like,
Yes.
I heard it was
Actually,
mad.
if
no,
I was
tell
in
him
London, I would have just
London.
gone there for bats. Like,
I heard it was-
XOY is a quick trip for me.
Oh, I didn't know.
I mean, what do you think of that though? Like what Jay did and what Flacco is doing, like surprise concerts. Just come
Oh,
to
these
location.
pop-up shows, I really,
Would you
I,
prefer it, or do you-
I prefer pop-up shows because I've gone to, obviously I'm a big Joey Badass stan, but I've gone to a Joey Badass like surprise pop-up, and I'm telling you, the vibe you get from the pop-up shows are something else because you
Everyone
have,
there's a stand.
everyone there is a stan.
Because think about it, the only people are gonna find out about it are the people who
Other
are
people
following,
following
who are
like
following.
that,
Exactly.
and then the vibe you get from that, like with I went with like Nelly Nixon, another guy who usually comes here. Amazing vibe, like everyone's saying every single lyric. You don't get that on a normal concert. Like you go to a normal concert, you're just going there just because they heard the most recent hit.
Yeah.
Like those ones are really sick. So I really respect rappers that do these free pop-up shows because the true fans always find a way to get there.
Exactly.
No, they do. They
When
really
you get
do.
them people that buy hella tickets and sell them for
Yeah.
loads, so the actual fans are
Wireless,
actually getting
oh, that one's a madness.
exactly. Like Anderson packed to the free show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
I was
Anderson's packed free show. We all went.
We all
Well,
we,
three of us
we
went.
know about that day. That was a good one though.
That was good. I think that was
Nah,
better
I
because
wasn't
you
knowing
planned
about
it in
that.
advance. That was like you had a week's notice,
Okay,
and then you
cool.
could get free ticket done through Ticketmaster.
Right.
A bit more organized. You know, you could get a ticket for your friend, and you know it was just nice and chilled.
Yeah.
Dre came out. Yeah, that's one of the best ones I've been to.
Yeah,
to
I
be
feel
honest.
like all these pop-up shows are wavy. Like Kendrick's done like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
J. Cole did the listening.
I think you need more notice. On the day isn't enough. But that's just the
If
marketing
you're big
strategy.
enough,
Yeah, of course.
if you're
ASAP was
big
big
enough,
enough.
it won't
Lines
matter.
around the block.
As in, like it didn't hit capacity, or you're just
No,
saying
it did hit capacity. So the
So
tickets
then
sold
one day
out.
was enough, then, isn't it?
yeah, if
Yeah,
you're
but
big
for the
enough,
real
it doesn't
fans,
matter.
man, for some of the fans, it's
Exactly.
like
No, but if that's the point, though, if you're a real fan, you're really going to be
You're gonna
following
be
it. So
following
you're
it.
going to know
You're
about this.
That's why it's so
Yeah.
so
You wanna put the real
essential.
fans in
yeah.
the
we
building.
gotta work though, man.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
We're
though,
going
you
to
know.
break.
That's one of them ones you sacrifice, isn't it? So
I wanna move on quickly though, because we're running out
Yeah.
of time on it, and just so I came
Royce
across the Vox.
oh yeah.
Does everyone know what Vox is?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what it is. I just see it.
Basically,
it's like a channel, innit?
It's basically like a YouTube channel that does like all these explain type of videos, but it's
Yeah.
more like politically charged. So they
Yeah.
do like obviously a lot about Trump, a lot about just social issues basically, right? And they
Conflicts in the world.
teamed up with Netflix, and it's Wednesday today actually. But every Wednesday they're dropping a new episode of their explain series.
Yeah.
So last week they dropped the one about monogamy, which I watched, and like, I mean, a lot of stuff they said I low-key knew and agreed with anyway, but when it was put into that concise format, it really like fucked in my head a little bit.
Yeah. I watched it. I found it really interesting, and then I watched like another debate. Like
What was the other debate?
It was like, I think it was the middle ground is where they got like
Yeah,
people from
I
one
saw
side
that.
and
I
people
saw
from
that.
the other side.
It's the thing where they're in like a big room in it, and they've
Yeah.
got like two spotlights.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you go standing and it's
And
six
then they
people.
ask a question like
Yeah.
this, and then everyone that agrees goes and sits down, and then they discuss it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Again, you know the show he's talking about, the spotlight. I mean,
middle
Middle
ground.
ground,
I
I
think
that
it was.
one.
Yeah.
so basically the concept is there's 6 people, right, and it's split up into 3 people of one type. So there could be
a feminist group, and
feminist
a
group
non-feminist
and a
group.
non-feminist group, or like a vegan and then meat
Meat
eaters,
eaters,
or so on
yeah,
and so forth, right? And then they ask, okay, I think being vegan is healthier. So just a random question like that, yeah. And then if you agree with the statement, you sit down and then you talk about it, and then people don't come later on. So it's basically like a kind of what we're doing here, like just like a little debate forum.
Right.
But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, no, I found it really interesting. Some of the points.
So what was your take on your thoughts?
I think, like, now I'm starting to understand why people can be like quite polygamous, like sort of in a way. Like,
So before this point, you didn't see it as a possibility, or you thought it was just fantasy?
I couldn't basically before watching this and getting a bit more of an understanding. I didn't understand it at all. I would be like, wow, that's crazy. Like, what the hell? But it, like, I kind of understood the concepts before, obviously, but I didn't want to, like, obviously sort of agree with them, because we've socially been trained to be like, oh, there's
Possessive
one
and
true
jealous.
love. There's all of this. You have to be faithful. We've been trained this from like a young age. Like a lot of us are from like religious families. There's a lot of religious background to it. There's also the legal
I'm gonna come
background
on
to
to
And
it.
just
later on
cultural as well.
Yeah, cultural as well. Very cultural. Like and on the legal side, like marriage is practically a legal contract if you look at it that way.
Yeah,
So
literally.
yeah.
I know Oliver, me and you used to debate these sort of stuff a lot. Me and them lived together in second year uni. But like, did you watch the Vox thing?
Yeah, I watched it.
Has your has it changed your perspective on marriage, or has it changed your perspective of anything, or like what? Like what was your takeaway?
I mean, like, come back to me.
Zach,
Um,
I know again you're from a Christian
yeah,
background, right?
exactly.
And so that was gonna obviously impact a lot on the ways that you think about these sort of stuff.
Yeah. I'm still
Spinning.
I'm still
Yeah.
I'm still on the monogamy side. Like,
I
Yeah.
no doubt, but like,
Yeah.
was there anything in there that you thought like, rah, like this is I never thought about it this way before? Because again, if you haven't watched it, I fully recommend
Yeah.
our whole YouTube
Yeah.
channel. But that specifically is very, very, it's eye opening more than anything else.
yeah.
There was
yeah.
something they said about like I think it was on the middle ground one I was watching, and it was like why in a like relationship, like if you're having a polygamous relationship, why is it wrong? Like you have a best friend, like in the case of friends, you have a best friend,
Yeah.
and you have many friends. You go for other things. So in a sense, if they have a primary partner, and they've got like other partners where they're going
the
to
same
for
sort
like
of parallel.
like it's the same sort of thing. So why is it sort of being frowned upon?
Kofi, what was your takeaway?
Nah, he's got. I was just literally saying, yeah, but someone's always going to be not that happy in a polygamous relationship.
But if you're in a polygamous relationship
Can it
and
really
you're clear, if you're clear and open to it, then what's wrong? What's wrong with it? Like,
it's not
in
the
that
problem
sense.
of what's wrong. It's just on how everybody person involved feels.
yeah, but if everyone,
And they're
if,
getting
if,
their
every,
fair
if,
share.
if everyone's calm with it and you're transparent,
Yeah.
then they know. And at any open time, they should be able to like walk
do they
about.
actually last long though? That's the thing. That's what I was trying to
I
to
think
ascertain after watching the video. I know this polygamous relationships work and years
Yeah.
to years, but can they actually be sustained for
full
longer than-
disclosure from my point of view. Yeah, I've never been particularly pro marriage anyway.
I hear your
and
point
it's
on
and it's
that.
a thing of like, personally, again, I find it difficult when it comes to relationships anyway, where it's a point of like I'm like too. I've always said I'm too like concerned. Yeah, basically concerned about my, what I'm trying to do with myself and improving who I am as a person to ever really engage in a relationship just at this point in my life.
That's okay
But
though.
it's a thing of when I watched this, when I watched the Polygamy Explained video, there's a lot of the stuff that I knew already and a lot of the stuff that I already agree with. And as I mentioned earlier, me and Oliver used to like debate this. I mean, we were going for like, I don't know how long, just back and forth about, what you should be doing, what you should and shouldn't do, why you should and shouldn't do it. Sorry. And it's a thing of like, at the end of the day, it's if the relationship works, it works. And there are some people who are gonna find I'll say 99% of people was gonna find that sort of arrangement extremely undesirable and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
However, that being said, like I don't necessarily think that this is an inherently bad setup to have,
Yeah.
where all parties are, on the same page with it. And I
Yeah,
think that's the
uninformed.
only limitation to this agreement, is that you at the end of the day you all have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between having a non-consensual monogamous relationship where you're together, as you said, with a primary partner, but you've got basically side things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can be a swinging partnership where you basically, the two of you and your partner are going and have sex with another pair of people, and then I forgot the final classification, are polyamorous, which is basically
Yeah.
everyone with everyone, and it's free, even,
Yeah.
and equal. But I think a lot of the biggest issue people have with this is that it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very like broad, and it doesn't deal with a lot of specifics of how it works. Only that this is what it is.
Yeah. What I also found interesting, is like there was a point like in life, in most monogamous like sort of relationships, like you have jealousy obviously in it. And why is it like by society when in that case we look at this person is jealous and because of like their partner like talking to another person, that's because they really care about that person. But in other situations, like say if I was jealous of my younger sister for an achievement, that is frowned upon.
Can
If
I
I'm
put it,
jealous
can I put it
of
in a
my
different
work,
way?
yeah,
Is that why is it that in every area of life,
yeah,
jealousy is frowned upon,
Yeah.
except this one area
exactly, yeah,
where it comes to your partner. All of a sudden, being jealous is a positive
yeah,
thing, and for me, like that doesn't make sense.
yeah, yeah. When
Yeah, it doesn't.
I was watching it, I was like, whoa,
That
that's-
Shambudi said that.
yeah,
innit?
That was
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
It was really a.
yeah.
I
I was
remember
like,
she's a. Only reason why I know who that is because she's a sexologist from from Canada, sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
But she chills with like Timothy De La Ghetto and all
Yeah.
their man from Wildin' Out.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
like that's how I made that connection.
yeah. I was
That's
like,
mad.
But there was also like
And
more
she's
mad.
paying as well, so that helps.
There was also more mad things about like all of our biological features.
Yeah, I think
and stuff.
the
when
biggest
you
thing about the Vox thing is that it looks at it from a strictly biological and
Yeah.
sociological
Yeah.
point of view. It completely ignores
it
any religious
ignored,
aspects.
it was mad like when you were looking at all the features of like our closest like relatives.
The
When-
bonobos.
Ancestors.
Bonobos.
Bonobos was
That
wild.
part made me
Yeah.
They have
The
sex like
fucking
every
say
day.
have-
they
the fucking say hello, fucking say
they have
goodbye.
sex. Yeah, exactly. Them man are wild. They'll have sex while they're cuddling. They'll just
Yeah.
quick
Do you see
thing.
when-
Quick thing,
Like
in and
quick
out.
thing,
just tip,
but they'll
just
say
tip.
like the biological features, obviously, like we share a lot.
Closer to apes than to any
Like,
other animal.
like it's crazy, but
What I found mad was in Venezuela, like where they said that if a man has sex with a pregnant woman, he has to take care of the child.
Well, you have to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to-
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to
Like,
go
well,
to-
That
yeah,
was in the
yeah.
hunter-gatherer.
that was so
Yeah, but
mad. But
that's
it
still
brought, it
mad.
brought goodness to the
Hunter-gatherer
community.
community.
'cause
Again, no, here's the
it was
thing
those
though.
who,
It's like,
yeah,
go on, Karen.
yeah,
Sorry,
it was
let me
those
cut you off.
like who the children that had like more fathers were the ones that ended up
protected.
having better like life
Yeah.
expectancy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it can be good in some communities.
And here's the thing though, it's because from a strictly practical point of view, yeah. In fact, let me go back a step. It's the point where you reach from your mental biases
Yeah.
into the practical reality of things is the bridge that people can't cross, in my opinion. Because again, to me, and this is a very like I can only speak from my personal opinion, yeah, that these it makes sense. Like I don't have a valid argument why it's like it should polygamy or polyamory or
Yeah.
whatever you want
Yeah.
is
Shouldn't be accepted,
vilified
but-
essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Except on the basis of religious arguments. But again, even then, I actually had to do quick Googles and stuff, and that from like a lot of the stories, whether it's in the Bible or the Torah or the Quran and this and that, a lot of the prophets are polygamous,
Yeah.
and there's nowhere that I can find that explicitly, prohibits or forbids polygamous relationships. That being said, there are many examples of polygamous relationships going wrong.
Yeah.
So you gotta balance it up and say that, like, cool, it's like,
It's what's simpler,
it's
really.
yeah,
isn't it?
it's viable, but is it really workable? And that's
Yeah,
at
but
the end of the day, that's
someone
it.
from
You
a
have to be-
polygamous relationship would always go and talk to someone and say like, look at you've had like 3 different marriages, you divorced them each time, and you're coming to me and saying, I've been
can
faithful
you-
each time. That's
yeah.
you being faithful to the rule, not actually loving the person. That's where it can go
So-
wrong with
And
like
that is where the trick
mono-
is, and it's
yeah.
the understanding and the
Yeah.
emotional intelligence.
I mean, monogamy is a recent concept. Even in the video, it states it. Like,
Very
we've
recent.
gone from hunter-gatherers to like being agricultural, quite social beings, and that's when all of this has really come. And like,
gonna say?
me in the past, it really was more
I was-
a sense of sort of like marrying someone for like the workforce and the in-laws and all of that sort of stuff. But it's changed over time.
As in,
yeah.
like, marriage is a contractual relationship,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, more. It went from
yeah,
more
I
as a contractual relationship to more like, oh, you need to find someone to love, and it's like gradually been changes. So, if we've gone through them changes, what we could go through the next change and possibly be more accepting of this. Really,
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna just go back to the whole religion thing. I don't feel so it doesn't talk about polygamous relationships before marriage. So, because you know how like in the eyes of like Christianity and especially like Islam, sorry, all of that.
All the, like, the
Once
free-
you're married,
Yeah.
done, dusted.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
you.
Yeah.
That's you and them. So
I feel like you've misinterpreted that.
I might have, but the third part before marriage, like it doesn't talk about polygamous relationships, like being with multiple people and stuff like that. But once you're married, having other people come into the situation, then it talks about that.
Nah, I think it says essentially you're talking about adultery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but adultery is simply having sex outside of marriage. It doesn't say you can't marry more than one woman. So I can marry like multiple women. Like for example, in the Quran, like in Islam, allows you to marry up to 4 wives. But it's where if you're married to 3 wives and then sleep with another woman, that's adultery. Because
Marriage is between man and woman. Just
yeah, but no,
one and
the
one.
point is like if you engage with a woman who's not your wife, that's forbidden.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say I can't marry more than one woman.
Once you marry one woman, that's it. So you can't
No, but
marry
that's-
two.
No,
that's
that's
Christianity.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't marry
in
them at the same
Christianity.
time.
That's saying
that's-
Christianity.
oh, yeah.
You're going on what's different religions.
Yeah, he's
now.
talking about Islam.
Alright, so yeah,
So-
if I'm talking about Christianity then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Alright.
that's
But
I don't know
even,
about
even
Islam
in
like that.
Christianity, like it's just like I
There's still
couldn't
very
find
variations
it.
of Christianity.
Isn't it
Some people
till death
don't
us
have
part?
sex until they're
That's-
married.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
yeah.
that's
So-
made up.
Yeah.
The polygamy wouldn't apply then because they can't.
No,
They
as in
hold
I'm
themselves.
saying that in even Christianity, I haven't seen where it says you can't marry more than one woman.
No, it doesn't say it, but that's what the institution of the church now has just we've taken as face value as okay, it's only one woman
But that's what I'm saying though.
because of the state law and how close it was to the church. So, but you're right. You say it doesn't actually specifically say that in any of the books or any of the teachings. It doesn't say.
it's
It just says
it can be inferred. Like there is a good argument to infer it, but again, I don't. Inference is suspect in my opinion. Like if it's going back to the Bible again, right? You've got a lot of it is parables, right? And then there are hard and fast rules. The 10 Commandments being an example of the hard and fast part, and again, but a lot of the inference comes from the parables. The rules part doesn't, like polygamy is not mentioned. It says you can't commit adultery and that's it. But with the stories part of it is where people say, for example, a lot of in the Old Testament, for example, there's one example in the New Testament where it talks about positions of power, and when it's referring to righteous people, it says where a man who has taken one wife, and people interpret that to mean you can only have one wife. Or people look at the Adam and Eve story and use that as an example, and then they look at I think Solomon, who had like 700 wives and concubines, and he lost his way, and say that as an example of why he shouldn't. But again, these are just like stories and not hard and fast rules. That's why I'm saying that I haven't, like, these are just the judo, the Abrahamic faith. Sorry, I haven't really looked at anything else, but just those specifically. That's what I'm saying when it comes to the vilification of what it is to be polygamous. It is culturally, religiously driven rather than anything else. Because in practice, the example of the hunter-gatherer species that Alex is talking about, the hunter-gatherer stage of humanity that Alex is talking about, lasted for 100,000 years, where I saw one statistic that was saying that over 85% of relationships at that point were polygamous. But it's only really been since we've transferred from hunter-gatherers to agricultural over the last 10,000 years that we've really been dedicated towards one man, one woman relationships. And then out of that 10,000 years, apart from the last 150 since the Age of Enlightenment, all of that, marriage was simply a way to get in-laws and property. Like a woman traded marriage for security, and a man traded marriage for like money, basically, like prestige and position. And only in the last 150 years when, marriage has been, basically women's equality essentially has become a thing, that we've then changed from it being an institution of contractual relationships to one of just one out of love. But then what's happened is, again, this is just maybe this may be my unpopular opinion, is that rather than giving women the same liberties that we give men, we've restricted men's liberties to in the interest of equality to make it the same as women. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's what's happened. That's beyond that. It's up for you to decide.
Wait. Say that again about the equality. Sorry, I just want to be clear on that.
So I'm saying that over the last 50 years, when in marriage has gone from an institution of essentially one of contractual relationships and, you know, trading a woman's... Basically, a woman got married for the security, right? And a man got married for the in-laws.
Yeah, I know that, but yeah.
In a nutshell, right? So after like last 150 years of the age of enlightenment, and then, you know, the pursuit of women's equalities, as in the equal treatment of men and women, rather than liberating women to act as freely as men were doing, because let's not be mistaken, even though men were married, they still had their sightings. So rather than
being polygamous,
you know, saying that women can act like men, we're saying men has to now behave in the same way that women acted.
It's a control mechanism.
Not acted, but the same rules that constrain women are now applied to men.
And
it's a thing of jealousy and possessiveness and
control.
But these are negative emotions, in my opinion.
You could even see it when people say, like when a guy sleeps with multiple women, and regarded amongst like his friends,
boys is the man.
He's the man.
Get what you're saying, 100%.
But
you get
if
bad
girls
things
does
in
that,
that,
she's shamed.
Teach me, bro.
Exactly. But it's the complete
Getting the spuds, you come in the next day.
I'll make that thing, you know.
Exactly.
Let me not talk about that life still.
She was number one suspect, problematic guy.
Have you seen the videos where people are talking about like body count and stuff? And it's like normally with guys, girls normally expect a higher body count, but it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. And if the guy asks to go, how many people have you been with? And she's like, three or
you have to multiply by 3.
Somewhere like around 5. No, can't do it because this whole thing about it's all right for a guy, but it's not all right for a girl. Yeah.
And I think that's residual of the attitudes we had, you know,
pre
the liberation of women, essentially.
We still technically have them, to be honest. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Those are attitudes that are residual from that period.
Yeah. And it's upsetting, but you know, that's just how it is. And marriage obviously was a patriarchal act, and I still think it is. That's why I'm with you on not being so pro marriage, because it still fights to the fact that the man owes the woman.
No,
man. Before we wrap, what are you saying, Oliver?
I just think a lot of women nowadays don't even want marriage as well, because like it's not even just.
I don't know about that, to be honest. I hear a lot of girls screaming about when you know this.
See, when I get my husband, I'm ghosting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a man. He's gonna take me here.
We're
gonna do this together, which is great. There's a good want to have that companionship, to do things and grow with somebody.
Yeah, but you can't grow with other people. Like Alex said, you got friends. Like you got a bag of friends.
But okay, no, you're right.
Yeah, all
but
our
how well are you
relationships,
gonna get
we're
to know
learning
them
people.
friends?
We learn from every friend we interact with. We learn so much. So
and you don't see I've known you man like for like I don't know like 4 years now.
And we've grown a lot.
I've known you for Zach for about a year as well. So it's like, you know, we grow together, and it's not a thing of like, and I can share my successes and failures with you guys, and it's cool. It's not a thing of like, you know, I'm not going to do it unless I get married in this. But again, it's just strictly, again, I don't even think it's religious anymore at this point. I just think it's strictly cultural.
Yeah.
There was something interesting in a study. I think there was a study that showed like non-monogamous like populations had like higher levels of satisfaction, function, commitment, passion.
I don't even know how they come up with these statistics in the first place.
I don't know how. It's questionable. But it's all qualitative data and all of that. It's not really quantitative. And they had lower levels of jealousy and higher levels of trust is something I found interesting.
Because I think I've seen.
Because humans can't
How
help.
big are those communities though, populations though?
No, I remember. I think if Alex is referring to the same study that I saw, they looked at I think a few thousand monogamous people and like around 600 or so polyamorous people, or non-consensual monogamous people essentially. And that's what they found.
I
mean, those are pretty decent numbers. I mean, not as big as you would like them, but they're big numbers still.
No, they are. They're big numbers. And if you think of the statistic, I can't remember what year it was, but it said that 2.2 million Americans got got married. This is in the box video.
800,000.
Got
And
divorced.
800,000 got divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
when you think
this-
about it, look at all that wasted money, wasted time, and
Imagine
It's
that's
the argument of
800,000.
you're
you're being
Be monogamous to you're being like attracted, or you take monogamy more seriously than you do the relationship.
yeah.
You're more committed to being
And
monogamous than you are to the person you're monogamous
basically
with.
doing polygamy like over a period of time.
yeah.
I can understand.
So,
They're doing
but,
checkpoints.
you know,
I can understand
like
that.
Mario
it's like
Kart.
I can understand that
Yeah.
study about like people who have multiple,
yeah,
like being happy and
Yeah.
having more trust and being like more satisfaction, like being happier or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a biological thing
no, we have to be.
with humans,
We have so we seek
especially
that desire.
guys.
Yeah, among men specifically.
You're with your girl. You see a girl walk past, you're gonna turn around.
There's no way you're
that's-
not checking.
That's
something.
that's
There was
that's
one
just
guy,
like
one of those things of saying I trained myself not to.
I
I
was
was
thinking,
like,
this motherfucker's
you
a liar.
silly, you silly.
liar. And the thing is, his girl believes him.
Yeah, you know what? As much as like guys may not want to, it's like it'll
If
be
I
in your
see a
head.
fat
It'll
ass
be in your
like
head. It'll spark in your
walking,
head.
I'ma turn my head.
Exactly.
Go or no go, I'ma turn my head.
Don't wife
Do you,
chills.
do you guys think then
watch
that marriage will still be like a main thing like as we get older? Because I feel
As in,
like
like in the following generations.
yeah,
For
It
religious
would
people,
de-
yes.
I feel like it will
Yeah.
decrease.
As long as religion
Yeah.
I
is
think
there,
it will decrease, but it will remain because of religion, culture.
Yeah, outside of
Yeah.
religion and those cultures where if you're with someone else, we're gonna chop off. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's it.
Oliver, the law would have to change.
One time.
The law
Yeah.
would have to change.
Yeah.
If they allowed polygamous relationships, the law would
I
have
can
to
see that
change.
happening though.
The law would have to change for that
Yeah.
for it to
Like,
decrease.
I
And
can
not-
see that
I don't like how they
so-
say that.
The
UK is some-
You'd have to have
church
a
within the
political
country or
party
whatever,
that
because
really
it's-
pushed that.
Yeah.
Sec-
Yeah.
we're-
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
secular
right.
now,
Secular
it's a
is the
secular
most.
I
society,
can
yeah.
see a party like Lib Dems pushing something like that.
No, I can't lie. What,
don't
know. I'll
there
be the
might be
Green
a
Party
party
first.
within the next
Yeah,
10
Green-
years.
actually, yeah, Green Party.
I'm telling you right now.
Probably Green Party, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, but look, it's just whatever you're comfortable with. But here's my thing: is that I really like this whole jealousy thing. Really jars me. Maybe it's just because I'm wired differently or something. But I just feel that the whole thing about being possessive. First of all, like the thing that jars me the most is having the idea of somebody saying, "Oh, he's mine."
Yeah, that's
Fuck
what I
off.
agree with you. Totally agree. I agree with that.
Oh my days.
He's mine, she's not. You belong to me. And traditionally, it was the man who was like,
my days,
the woman is mine. That's not
Veins
right.
pop.
That's not actually empowering her or giving her any rights, is it?
Yeah.
It's not. So, I
So go back to
definitely
Oliver again. He's trying to hide out here, and I'm putting him on the spot, fam.
Go on, boy.
well, ask me like I don't know like it's,
Okay, so when if a girl says, "Oh, you're mine," and it all sounds very possessive, you're in a relationship.
yeah.
Nah, he's gonna be, oh, that's mad cute.
How
Nah,
you
That's
feel?
my
Never that.
babe.
How you feel?
Well, I mean, like if I'm in a relationship with her, then obviously
I don't think there's a problem with that.
it's no, yeah. There's no issue.
I
With
just
it.
find it
If
mad
you're in a
jarring.
relationship,
I
like
find it
it's-
so jarring. Like I've been in situations where
I mean,
okay,
it
this
gets
is-
there would be a limit. Like if it's a regular occurrence, when you started to think, this chick is
Yeah,
a
she
bit
thinks I'm
mad.
property, bro.
Nah,
But
I
don't
mean,
you
if
want to
it-
be loved? Don't you want to be known?
No,
Don't
you
want
do,
to be
you do,
known
you
that-
do.
that
Yeah,
you're
but
wanted.
like,
So,
pause,
Like,
pause,
pencil
pause,
case.
sorry, not loved.
pause.
Like, it's my
Wanted,
pencil
wanted,
case.
wanted.
Nah, it's not mad.
Yeah, your pencil case. Is that
Yeah,
your
that
girl
sounds
yet?
possessive. That's how
Pencil
sounds.
case.
Yeah,
Everything
like,
is
sounds
fine
about me like,
within
I'm a-
But
reason.
if you're
It's the
hers and
extremities
she is
you
yours,
don't want.
yeah.
that's the
No,
argument you
true.
could pose.
That's what Izzy's saying.
Huh?
That's what Izzy's saying.
I'm that's like, but that's the thing is though, like I'm not yours, I'm mine. Like,
Yeah.
Of course.
that's I don't like
But
to.
when someone
No,
will
I
turn
hear you, I
around to you,
definitely
say
hear you.
that
You
their
don't belong to
relationships for
anyone
both
and
of them
nobody
to
belongs
grow
to you.
together and all that
Sorry,
nonsense.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is that no other girl can kind of come to you because that's like he's with me.
Then you see all these wild
Yeah, I
places,
think
like
it's
you're
more
chatting to this
towards
girl
the
on
same
IG.
sex.
I hear
You're
that.
liking her
Like
bitches.
I don't necessarily think it's well unless you swing both ways, but it's more towards
no
the
wrong
same. Yeah, there's no wrong there, but I'm just saying.
Just to clarify, I do not.
I don't know why.
Sure, is
you
he?
even
Sure.
thought to clarify that. But
Sweating.
Is that sweat? I
How's it
see?
getting a bit sweaty?
See some condensation on the window, bro.
yeah, but it's more towards the same sex. I don't think it's like they're doing it more say to tell you like, oh yeah, no, well. Yeah.
Do you know what I hear the biggest thing is though? Is that whenever I have this conversation with somebody, they tell me, "Oh, you got commitment issues," and I'm like, "Alright, you know what? Yeah,
Maybe you just haven't found.
no.
someone that
Here's the
you
thing. Here's the
vibe
thing.
with like that.
I hear that a lot as well. But like I say to them, "Alright, cool. The same way I might have commitment issues, the same way you might have dependency issues. That's the way I see it.
True. That's
Hit with the
Totally
yeah,
agree.
That's true.
That's
true.
I don't know, that's what I see. And if you're cool being you, I'm cool being me. That's it.
Yeah, that's
But,
true.
but is it just because they really want somebody? Not really want. They want to call somebody theirs. That means that they're dependent on them.
No, I feel like someone's trying to
genuinely-
replace their parents, so that's why they.
I generally think that people just don't want to be alone. Like, you don't want to
don't?
grow
Yeah.
old and be like in a house
Us
by
as
yourself.
humans,
Some
we always
people-
want to group ourselves with, like,
if you're
whether it be
old
with
and
friends,
you're in a
whether it
house
be
by
friends,
yourself, that's low key.
whether
your
it be a
fault, fam.
partner,
Pick up
you
the
want to
phone.
group yourself with someone, and like if that group happens to be just you and that person, I can see why like marriage is like this. But yeah, I think that's really the main reason. Us humans are just needy.
Yeah.
We need it, and we like
Yeah.
people who
But
are reflective
that's
of
my
us.
issue. Like, it's going back to the football thing about you talking about thousands. Just because you're needy doesn't mean that it's okay. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think
that's
you should
very
never
true.
act on a position of, in my opinion,
Yeah.
you shouldn't comment from like that's almost a thing of weakness, saying that I need, I can't live
Yeah,
without
but-
this, and it's like, bro, like just like
Yeah, but then you're taking away people's emotions.
people keep saying this to
No,
me,
you
bro.
are,
I'm
though.
not, fam.
No, you are.
You
I'm
are.
not. I'm
You're
just
just
saying-
thinking logically.
I'm saying being
you
big.
know, because you are thinking logically. You're not thinking like human beings have emotions. Like, so it's like
I don't
so-
doubt that.
so
But
it's like-
people feel lonely at sometimes. It happens. Like
Yeah,
shit.
that's right. But you don't want to feel
But you-
lonely for the rest of your
yeah,
life.
exactly.
And
don't-
you get a lot
Even
of women.
okay, no, but even
Unless
with
you've
even when
taken
when you're with somebody, there are times where you still feel lonely.
That's true.
That's
but-
Yeah.
true.
So like
very
being
true.
with someone doesn't solve that problem.
Yeah, but that's why you
That's why you find. That's why
you keep looking until you find that one.
Wait.
You
Wait.
keep looking until you find the
Become
right
friends
person.
first.
Huh?
Become
Friends
friends
first.
first. Become best friends. Then it's calm.
Yeah.
Then you
But we
become
don't
best
really
friends
live.
and friends
We live
with
in a
benefits.
society where you can do that, or
Oi,
you just rush into
if
it.
any listeners want to audition to be Izzy's things, go ahead.
Listen, my DMs are open, but
You
just
know
know
what
that
his
if I
DMs
clap
is?
back here,
As long as they're not angry DMs, he'll
I think the
respond to
listeners
above
want to
thing.
know
Yeah.
what all your guys'
I
Instagrams
will
are.
take you seriously.
Boys, I think the listeners want to know what your Instagrams are, so they can match the face to.
Oh yeah,
voice.
quickly.
I don't even know.
Chills.
They want to check
Your
you.
wait, ACL 17 on. Is that right?
Wait,
He was
on
off by heart.
Instagram, I wanted to give a little message here. I'm the most untrash guy. If you heard any of
Nah,
my
I won't lie
stuff,
to you.
I disagree.
I'm the
I am.
most
I think
untrash guy. So, ladies, hit up the
Can I just say
DMs.
the fact that he has
fact
to
you're
put that
saying
out there is you know
Oi.
it's
It's a bit suspect.
I'm just putting it
Damn,
out
you're
there. I'm a
throwing dirt
holy,
on
I'm a
his
holy
name.
brother.
Aye.
But still, all right, it's
Chills is-
ACL on
Chills is
I think
known.
Insta.
It's 17 though. right?
ACL 17, yeah. ACL 17 on Snap if you want to see some of the mischief is clapped you. I think Twitter's. I think Twitter.
Mischief.
Nah, that's legit. His
I think,
big tag is
polygamous.
I
clapped-
think my
clapped you,
Twitter
fam.
name is clapped you as well, but the at is ACL LWANGA 17.
Wanga.
Wanga, you know them ones. And yeah, I think that's
That's
it,
the one,
man.
yeah, that's it, man.
Chills life and that, you know, clap things and that. Yeah, that's me. And I'm not trash. Just remember that. Yeah.
I'm
16.
not on social media. but
Again, another guy.
my name's Oliver.
Man like Oliver. If you
For
want
the
to find him,
clinical points, but
if you want to find
people
Oliver,
see.
you have to walk around Newham for a little
You're
bit.
on Facebook. You're on Facebook.
Hey, that's gonna give me
That's
socials,
government.
innit?
That's jobs only.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
jobs,
good.
jobs only.
Jobs
Work
only.
only.
Potential employers.
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, but I'm Oliver.
Zach.
Yeah.
My Insta is ZVK, so it's ITSZVK, and then you know I have my Snap. So,
Yeah, that's so
Some
good.
Part of Spotify as well, though.
Oh, Spotify. That's ZVK, just how it is.
ZVK, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Nice,
just how it
nice,
is.
nice. See a cheeky little picture of Zach on there as well.
Hey man, I got a couple. It's like
Yeah,
7.
Make sure you check that out.
Make sure you
'cause
check
obviously
that
videos
out.
coming
Yeah.
out soon, innit? So
Obviously, you know mine, SBK Worldwide on Instagram,
SPK, what?
K the Fix on Twitter. I don't really use Snap that much, but it's Kofi K if you wanna, you know.
Yeah.
But it's up to you if you
You
wanna do
died
that
from
one.
the Snap scene. It's
I
sad.
don't, know why we
Sad
did,
this
I don't know
week.
why we did this now. Oh yeah, so on Instagram it's Izudu Mulatto and everything else. That's you might have to Google how to spell mulatto if you're the ill-informed, but I ain't gonna do that for you still.
Too much spelling out.
Yeah,
Speaking
it's
of Spotify as well.
Izu the Mulatto on Twitter and Instagram, and then make sure to follow the Spotify account that we've got for the Plug Club. That's the Plug Club with 3 Gs. The
Unplugged
Plug, sorry,
podcast.
my God, the Unplugged Podcast The Plug Club is something else.
Yo,
Don't follow that too on Instagram.
I mean, yeah,
follow
the
Plug
Plug
Club.
Club store too is something different.
Yeah, every man, if you can, help
if
the
you're-
brothers out. You
Yeah,
know.
if you're on the Supreme, the
sneakerheads.
the sneakerhead thing, nice,
Just
you know,
nice fashion. You want
Us
to see
man,
something
we
yeah,
got
yeah.
you. We
Streetwear
got
fashion,
you,
that's what we
man.
need to be honest. But yeah, personally, I'm Izzy the Mulatto, Twitter and Instagram. The Unplugged Podcast on Spotify. Yeah, that's everything. And go back to the point I was making before. Yeah. Listen. PS. Oh no, actually. PS. Yeah. Don't at me in my DMs. You get blocked and deleted. Unless you're painting. Hey, do you know what I deep the other day, yeah? Is that I will give you a pass if you're paying.
Yeah.
a pass for
That's
what?
why it's trash.
Any.
Yep, this is
They
the
done
real
you.
trash
Listen,
guy here.
I've lived my truth, bro. It's mad because
You're Drake, bro.
listen,
probably know some Drake
I've
too.
had some girls, yeah, that I think you're full of shit, but you're paying in it, so I'm gonna just deal with it.
Actually, you know what? No, I'll tell you like quick story. I was just chatting to one girl, and her English was kind of bad, but aside from that, she was boring. Like she was dead boring, but she was paying.
Yeah, so
And,
you give her a
like,
pass.
Not even
so
the
I gave
accent. Did you not like hear accent and be like,
Oh no, because she had a French accent. Like she's from France.
Vavoom.
Yeah,
Spicy,
yeah.
you know.
But you know, she wasn't paying. I would have left every time I met her halfway through.
Yeah.
And it was only because she was paying that I like having her walk next to me. People would look at me and be like,
Oh,
my
so you
guy."
want her to be yours, yeah?
No, I don't. Not at all. In fact, she thinks I'm in Spain right now.
She gonna hear this and no otherwise, innit?
Oh, we should put that on air, you
Hey,
know?
look, I'm not gonna promote this because she might see it.
No names. You ain't say no
I
names.
think
on
we
here.
find a real trash guy on a podcast.
I think we have, you know.
Yeah, that's me.
The battle of the trash.
That doesn't mean that other men are trash, by the way. Just for the listeners, because
Yeah.
you know,
Damn, what? So
I'm
you
just
can
gonna
actually
say people
like,
are trash. That's
so
all
you
I have
can-
to say.
people are trash.
So you guys can actually like meet a girl a couple of times, and she's dead boring and just still chill.
I
but
didn't
just
say
'cause
that.
she's
I didn't
paying.
say that.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Not a lot.
It depends.
I
It
met
depends
her
on
once.
Do
my
you know
mood,
what?
innit?
Yeah, it depends on what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
If I
exactly.
just want to get to know
It's
her,
the time period.
and I want to, but if I'm just trying to, you know,
Going back to the polyamory thing, if I got everything on the side, I'm joking.
yeah, no, put it depends on what position I'm in my life. If I'm looking for a relationship, no. If I'm looking for just to hang out, to get to know somebody a little and see what their lifestyle's like and their culture's from, and like I say, she's different. Why not? And if there's somebody else there, then it's better for me.
But I feel like if I'm chatting to someone, you gotta have.
you got substance.
You gotta come
Yeah.
with something.
You got like I got to laugh. Like
I
that's
need
just
to
how
feel
she
like
did not make me
enjoying
laugh
the
at
vibe,
all.
man.
So
Well,
Do
how
you know
many
what it
times
is?
have you
Yeah, I'm
seen
the
her?
worst. I
I
can't.
saw her one time and it was
Bang
calm.
him?
It was like it was calm, and then I saw her again, and that's when it just went to pieces. Like I told my friends to call me like halfway through so I can like with like a fake
Wow.
emergency to get me out. Like it was.
Is this 2K12?
Oh.
Is this 2K12?
No,
I'm in beef.
I had no idea what to do to get out of the situation. I told
I know you mean.
I told her I'm on holiday, man. She
So
thinks
you're
I'm
gonna
in
meet?
Spain.
You're not gonna meet her again, right?
No, hell no.
Oh, okay, I thought you were on the
No.
pretense like I'm just gonna see her
No.
again just because I like the look of her face.
No.
I wouldn't advise
That would be
you
trash.
to do that.
That would be trash.
Listeners are
Do you know what?
really
It'd be a
gonna
waste of time,
think-
to be honest.
Yeah, and she
Like,
would've started
So
catching
trash
feelings.
collective, trash like you know Avengers Assembly.
Trash assembly.
Trash assembly.
Stop that.
Infinity
we do not
Warfare.
promote that on here. We do not promote that on here.
Yeah, obviously, kids, just look, find your one true love
Be
and
real.
do this monogamy
just
thing,
do
innit?
you, but
Hey,
live
listen,
your
fuck
truth.
that one
Be
true love
real.
shit. That don't exist, man.
Be
I'll fight
happy.
you right now.
At
I'll
the end of the
fight you
day,
right
be
now.
happy, but respect for other people and their
Yeah,
feelings.
exactly.
Live your
you know
truth,
what?
man.
I'm just
Yeah.
living on my ones.
It will come
So
back to haunt you as
it's
well.
the right one. That's how I'm doing.
You hurt people, it'll come
You
back
want the
to
right
haunt
one, right two. If you're trying to find a starting five, do you, bro?
you. Alright, boys.
This guy, move like a manager.
Hey, listen,
been-
you got man.
You're the
Sir
first team.
Sir
You're the first
Ferguson
team.
in
You're
this
the
thing.
cool. I'm trying to recruit players in my first team.
Man, it's trying to appreciate checking that. Alright, boys. It's been a pleasure to chat, to bant, to find out who's trash and who's not. So yeah, until next time, boys. We out.
Peace.